All right, we're here with the Keep It Rolling podcast. We just got done rolling all week at the ADCC Open in Florida. Everyone just got wrapped up doing their open mat here from 10 to noon. And I'm here. I'm Kyle Perkins, and I'm here with Joey Deal. And I'm here with Sergio Garcia.
Very close. I'm going to say Garcia.
Garcia. Okay.
Classic
Very close.
mistake.
Very close.
Very close.
Awesome. So all of us competed this weekend at the ADCC Open.
Orlando.
We're back. What do you guys got to say? How'd it go?
Went a lot better than I thought. We obviously know that I was fighting a staph infection for the week before. First time ever having staph. So that definitely was not.
Oh, you jumped the podcast starting with a staff conversation.
Yeah, like
man,
that was the one thing I was stressing about. One thing I was stressing about the whole time.
That is something to stress about too.
It was. We did so much work to get ready, cardio wise and hand fighting wise. That like cardio was not the problem.
Well, let's start at the beginning with Sergio. So Sergio.
Yeah, start there.
So Sergio has been training with us. How long have you been training jiu-jitsu? Did you train jiu-jitsu anywhere else?
So it's funny. I was telling Kyle this the other day. I started actually in college. I went to like a week trial at 10th Planet Chicago with Josh Pisani. It was way too expensive for me at the time. I was like a broke college student, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this. So I just went into weightlifting, and then started with Team Curran back in July of last year, not this past July.
And I remember your first tournament. We talked about this over the weekend. Yep. I remember you said you remember me at your first tournament too, and we talked about stuff and like things that we want to work on. And it's amazing how much improvement you've made because that's not that long ago. Do you remember the date of the first tournament you did?
I can pull it up on my phone. I have all the videos.
It can't be that long ago.
No, it was. I want to say I was only training for like 2 or 3 months at the time before I hopped into a tournament.
Yeah, you had one move. You had your anaconda choke, and you were pulling that baby off.
October 8th, 2022 was my first tournament.
Wow.
October 8th. Say it again. October 8th.
October 8th, 2022.
Okay.
And I started training late July of 2022.
Nice. I mean, the progress is phenomenal. So, we'll talk about Sergio. Sergio is our guest. So let's start with Sergio for the weekend.
And we'll talk about his performances.
Yeah. So Sergio, this is your first time doing any type of traveling for jiu-jitsu.
Correct.
Right. So, it's different. It's different than like doing a small local show to go on a plane and go travel, and you're going to go face people who also is either traveling or they're from Florida. Yep. So
it's not your comfortable environment. You're not at your home. Right. You don't get to settle everything in the way you like.
Yeah, and I think, man, your performance was, like you said, much better than we could ever anticipate. I thought you did awesome, and I know because I'm really critical of you. We've had times where I'm like, I think it was like this first tournament you did with us, and you let remember that one match.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say I'm critical. I don't know how to say it, but I was. I had a lot of critiques.
Yeah, we want him to do well.
I want you to do well. It was all from like a positive place.
For sure.
But I really, there's a couple things like, man, we had a lot of work to do with your guard, a lot of work to do with like pinning stuff, and we made a lot of like. It's cool to see all the improvements in there.
I want to say my first tournament, I was like a wrestler, so I was very confident going to jiu-jitsu. I'm like, oh, how different can this be? Like it's just in wrestling, and I throw a few submissions in there, and then I went out there and got guillotined in like 2 minutes. Took a terrible
mistake.
Took a terrible high crotch, and the kid just choked me. And I was like, this is way different. And then I went 1-3 the first tournament. I think I got
anaconda somebody. Yeah,
that was his first one.
Yep.
And then
you fell in love.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's one of those things like I just love working towards something. So I did Fuji shortly after that. I want to say like the next month, if not the same month.
Yeah.
Was Fuji. I had like 4 kids in my bracket. Won one match there, felt really good, and then got caught in the finals. And then ever since then, I was like hooked. But the first grappling insurance I did with the team here at RMMA definitely didn't go the way I planned. I felt so confident for that one. I was like, I've improved a bunch. I
think it was a tough division there. You had a tough couple guys and a lot of physical guys. Yeah. And that was a big part of it. I felt like there was a physical discrepancy too, like from the feet. I think you're wrestling with a different style that I don't think is the best for jiu-jitsu, which was like your head low and kind of like wrestling to get tired.
Yeah.
Right, like a 2-minute wrestling match versus
making it an intense match. When jiu-jitsu is a lot longer than that.
And like just correcting that alone, we saw huge progress in your game where we just had you stand up a little taller and not let people hang on your head.
Yeah.
And I feel like that stopped you from getting tired because that was a big problem. Your fatigue, right?
Yeah, my lung capacity was not where it was before. Like where it is now. Like back then, I was like even just playing in someone's guard, I was getting exhausted.
Yeah.
Like they're doing majority of the work, and I'm still getting really, really tired.
Oh, that's it's a ability. It's almost a weapon, is to be able to put a pace on somebody. Cardio can be a huge
and to have
weapon.
Confidence that you're not just gonna gas out.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that a lot in the not to bounce to somebody, but one of Taylor's matches this weekend, the match she won, you could tell when she went to overtime, like that other girl was wilting, and so was Taylor. But you got to mentally realize that, I'm just a little bit ahead, and I'm going to really emphasize that on them.
You can only have that if you've been there.
Yeah.
In practice where you have a practice that's hard and you still push.
Yeah.
Like Friday nights, we have that. Sundays you can have that if you choose to.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer in like going to like the dark places of training, right? Like the harder practices are, the easier training gets. And I used to love when I wrestled, like I wasn't the most technical by any means, but it was like my cardio was there. Cool. So I can sit here and push the pace and keep that pace, and when people start to die down is when I can start to pick it up.
Did you feel that this weekend?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Nice.
I felt great. Like not one match was like, oh my god. Like usually I come off the mat and I'm like, I am going to pass out. Like this is insane. My whole body is tired. Like my grips are gone.
Well, and you were saying that a couple of the first two matches you came off and you're like, oh, I'm dead tired. But then I think you take 5 minutes and you realize, oh, I'm okay.
Yeah, it was definitely your first match over the weekend. Yeah. You sat down and I saw you sit down and you're like, I'm gassed. Yeah. I'm tired. And I think it was just mostly like you just got to let that burn out.
Yeah.
Your first match. And I think everyone's like that. I'm like that too. My first match, I'm always most tired.
Yeah.
And then I feel better the second.
You get a big adrenaline dump. You freak out there. And
And you just got to embrace it. And like I keep telling people too who are like getting into competing with us, it's like to anticipate getting tired instead of trying to be like, think that you're in such good shape that you're not going to get tired. That's unrealistic.
That was one of my favorite things you started saying. Like I think it was the first open. You're like, we're gonna be dead tired every match. Yeah, every match is gonna be hard. Yeah.
And I think once I chose to embrace the fact that, because I think I tried to do that, try to be like, if I get tired, it means I'm not in good shape, and I think that's stupid.
Yeah,
you could be in the best shape possible, and if you aren't getting tired, probably means you're not giving the effort.
You didn't do enough. Yeah.
And so if you're trying to avoid getting tired, you're probably just not doing your job.
For sure. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So so you got over it, right? That first match.
Yeah.
So let's recap it. Let's just do the whole match.
So first match. Tell us how the first match went.
First match, I definitely wanted to get more of my offense. I just felt like I didn't want to take dumb risks. Like that's my biggest thing. Is like again, I'd like go over or exert myself and I take like a bad shot and get caught in something. So I was like, okay, let's hand fight hard, like we said, like fix my stance, get on his head, like not wear myself out, but wear him down slowly. I was able to get to like what I thought was a deep dart, wasn't able to finish it, and then towards the end of the match,
I got a little nervous there because I thought maybe you were gonna lose position.
Yeah, you almost pulled him on top of you.
Like, just stay on top.
Yeah. And this is one of those things like too, like I was like, I feel like I need to put my leg over, and then I remember
we just went over
Darcy's, and I was like, do I hook his leg and like roll through? Is this one of those positions? So it's one of those things like in that moment I couldn't figure differentiate from the two. So I was like,
well, but that's also a thing is like if you are not physically or technically like competent with the technique yet, and in a big moment like that, it's going to be hard for you to fix it then, so it's better for you what you did of just kind of like bailed out of it and went back to what you know.
Just good jiu-jitsu is just good positions. So, if the submission's not going to, if you feel like you're not super confident in that particular finish, that was the right choice.
Yeah. Like I said, I tried rolling him through from it, and he got out.
And we went to overtime, right? First match?
No, we almost did. I want to say I scored with like 30 seconds left. I scored a takedown.
Yeah, you had a nice takedown on.
And then
right in the last
20 seconds, got 2 points, and then that was the end of the match. So a little bit longer of a match than I would have liked.
We'd have to go through it. I remember watching.
I have them on my phone. I have a few on my phone, yeah.
And then second match is the match you lost.
Yes.
How did we lose? What happened?
So I mean, if I was going to break down what happened was, Sergio was just really having trouble passing the guard. You were a little unwilling to come to your feet to try to open his guard.
Closed guard, you're saying.
Yeah, couldn't open his guard. Really unwilling to come to the feet. And then at one point in the rest, we even argued about who they were going to give the negative to. And then they gave Sergio a negative.
Oh, really?
And then so I was really emphasizing on him. He needs to work. He needs to work. And then I think he ended up getting swept with like 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
But,
which I'll say like the closed guard argument is like and I know this. And part of it's like also just having the energy to do what you need to do. But you definitely know there's nothing positive happening down there.
Yeah.
When you're inside someone's closed guard and you're on your knees, it's like there's no excuse not to. If you're scared of standing up because you know that you're probably going to get swept backwards, you still got to get over that and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because the reality is if you just stay on your knees, either you're going to get stalling calls or you're going to get submitted with some type of arm lock triangle.
And getting swept backwards is not the worst thing. You can always get back up. It's like that's the good thing about it.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
I think my brain just in that moment was like, I don't want to make a mistake that he's going to capitalize and submit me on.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, let's make it look like I'm working.
So you're
as much
trying
as
not. You weren't trying to win then, right? You're just trying to not fuck up.
Yeah, it's pretty much like making him make a mistake so I can score my 2 points and get the because
Which can pay off sometimes, but generally doesn't. Right?
You did to say you did some really close pass attempts. You did some really close pass. I think that was the kid. You should have passed. You went fully north-south, and then you went to try to like submit him with something. I think, and his knees started to come in. It might have been the next match where that happened. But yeah, I mean, it was a good performance by you. Just a little bit of a tactical mistake, and you ended up losing by a negative point, right?
That one I was down -1, and then he opened up his guard just a little bit, and I tried forcing, like passing the guard, and then he ended up sweeping me.
So it was like 10 seconds. I found count.
Yeah, it's like 10 seconds left. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try something again because if I pass his guard, it's now 2.
You'd be up 2
I'd be up 2
1.
Yeah, 2-1.
Nice.
So it's like.
So now we're 1-1, which
1-1.
everyone knows it's double elimination. So you're still in the game.
Yep.
Because we'll also say like you didn't. You've of course you placed some. I don't think you've taken first any tournaments, right?
No. Even in high school, I didn't take first in any tournaments. I've made the finals.
So you wrestled in high school.
Yep.
We should get a little background on Sergio.
Yeah, come on,
You're a wrestler. You're a wrestler in high school.
Yep.
Was wrestling? No, you're a football player.
Yeah, I played football.
You're
all
like
my
Kyle.
Life. Yeah, I played football.
Did you
all my
guys
life.
play against each other?
I don't know where'd you play.
I grew up playing it. Like,
Can we play together right now?
Leiden Bears.
Leiden Bears. No, we didn't play.
That's like North Lake area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do a scrimmage right now.
I'm down.
I'm down.
I'm all-time QB.
I think we should do like.
Do you remember playing that as a kid? All-time QB.
Oh yeah.
No.
I still go to the park every weekend to play.
What's that one?
So it's like we're an uneven team. So one person just gets to be all-time QB.
That's like the greatest game ever.
I just wait at the park every day for kids. All-time QB.
All-time QB. Yeah, but if you guys played right now, how would it go?
Kyle would probably definitely watch.
You think so?
You played all throughout high school, right?
Yeah, I played all throughout high school.
And high high school level, right?
Yeah, we were really good. So my high school football team, in counting the year before I went there and the year after I graduated, we lost one regular season game in that whole 6-year span. Yeah.
Yeah, Cary Grove was pretty good. I remember that.
We would just maul people. Yeah. And it was a thing that was funny to me where we would beat like every team in our conference, like 50-0, 60-0. And this is a thing for me that always goes through my head is I would wonder, do you think every single week the coach is giving his team the speech like
you can do
1 out of 100 times? Or is one coach logically saying to his team like, this is going to be rough, let's try to do our best and we'll move on to the next week? There was always a funny concept for me.
Well, with jiu-jitsu, I guess, same thing.
Yeah.
To switch it back to you.
Yeah.
You had a match with a guy who we know is really tough because you've already faced him and you've already struggled. This guy, Jordan Holy.
Yeah, he's beat me twice. Now it's been third time.
3 times. And every time it's been like dominant in terms of, it wasn't like you lost by a point or whatever.
No,
it's
just, he submitted me every time. And
really good.
Yep.
So like as a coach, do I say,
yeah,
this is the one? Well, or do I say, hey, we're going to try your best right now and let's hope for the next
let's be honest. Like, why would you say that second one? How is that going to help?
It's not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I will always, I think what I went for with you as a coach was like, you've never faced this guy before.
That's what you told me. You told me throw it away.
Throw it away. All the past stuff doesn't matter. He's never faced you before.
Yep.
Because you're new.
Yep.
You're a new problem to him. And I think that's the best route for a coach.
Yeah.
Same with the football team. It's like you can't go in with the idea that Cary Grove's like never. Otherwise you will never be that one number
that beat him. Yeah. Yep. So that's really cool. So so did you play in high school too?
Yeah, I played up until my sophomore year. Like one of those things, like I wanted to stop after freshman year because I realized I was way too small for football.
Okay.
How did you what moment did you realize? Were you looking in the mirror? Someone told you you're short?
My freshman year.
Because for me, it was like I looked around. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, a lot of guys I was playing with were just way bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I could keep up like a little bit athletic wise, but like just physical strength wise and size wise, it was just not close. I was just getting knocked around.
Because you're like my size.
Yeah. My freshman year, I was like.
We competed at 60 kilograms over the weekend, so we're the same weight class.
Yeah, my freshman year, I was 90 pounds.
So I think I was bigger than you, man.
Yeah, I was 90 pounds my freshman year.
My freshman year, I was like 119.
Yeah.
115.
So my freshman year, I was 130, and then they started telling us to eat and lift, and my sophomore year, I was 180.
Oh my
How nuts is that?
Were they cheating?
No.
Are you telling me you guys are like the Russians?
I wish we had steroids, bro. I wish we did.
Were you guys injecting stuff into your food?
We never had not one person go D1.
What do you mean? Say again?
We had not one person from our team ever went D1, Division I football. So it's like the highest level of college football.
So none of your players went there?
Ever went D1.
Why?
They just weren't good enough. Our team tended to always be smaller people, and we were just extremely technical at
you're
football.
saying your team players weren't good. Your team was good.
Our team players were good, but were extremely small of stature. And for football, that becomes a huge problem when
Then
you
how
move
could
up
you
levels.
win?
Because we were technically very good. I mean, people used to say to us a very common thing is like people like low man wins. So every offensive lineman used to come up to our team and be like, I don't know how you guys get so low. Well, that's what we practiced every single day. You know, we would just
Sergio are nice and low.
Yeah, we were super technical, with football. And I think that's why it translated to jiu-jitsu for me. We would watch film of every single practice we did.
Yeah.
It's like it was a really,
It's interesting. Alex, what was his name? Alex
Kube.
Kube.
Think of him? Yeah.
So I knew him really well.
You did?
I did.
So you won
when we were kids, like we were in the roller rink all the time together.
Okay, so this is a crazy story. So Alex Kube was the all-star of my high school football team.
Yeah, he was the man.
The year that I went there was his senior year. He graduated. He went to NIU, had a crazy NIU career, and then I think he had a heart attack and he died kind of young.
Unfortunately.
So then Colton, who's been training with us a lot lately,
good friend,
one of Colton's first tournaments. We go out there and he's competing and he's kind of doing his thing, and then he wins and he turns around. He's got this rash guard on, and I don't know if it said his Alex Kube, so AK was his, and he was 37, so he was AK 37 was his and it said on the back of his rash guard. And I go, do you know Alex Kube? And he was like, he was my biggest mentor growing up and stuff. He's got a big tattoo of Alex on his chest, and I was just like, what? How small is the world sometimes?
I don't think I've ever talked to Colton about it, but yeah, I grew up, hanging out with him when we were like, I was like, he was I think 3 years older than me.
He's like 3 or 4 years older.
I think he's 3 years older than us, but yeah. We were at the roller rink all the time.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like football stuff and all that. But yeah.
Do you know kind of his story?
About what?
So like he was from Germany and was going to be like a really good soccer player. And then his family moved to America. And then they started
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Little tangent.
Yep.
But, so you realize though, back to Sergio, you realize that, you're too short for it. So you start wrestling. And then wrestling, obviously, I think wrestling is the best sport in the world in general as a sport. Like when I say sport, like I think jiu-jitsu is like a sport, but we have to almost like put it into categories of like what could you play in school.
Yeah.
It's like in America, there's sports, team sports. Or
I think they're called organized sports. They're called organized sports. Yeah, where you have to like sign
away. Collegiate or like, some type of school.
Club or like,
Scholastic. Right? It's like there's no jiu-jitsu in high school.
Yeah.
It'd be cool if there was. And I think someday there could be.
I 100% agree.
It integrates well.
It'd be really neat.
I mean, imagine if it was in like college and they had like arm bars 101, leg locks 202.
Yeah, you talked about that.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
And I know like in Japan, like judo is every school, like middle schools, they have middle school champions for
really?
judo. Oh yeah, without a doubt. But so like wrestling is an actual sport. So I believe that wrestling is the most important sport that anyone could play. If I was to, once again make Jay feel like an idiot. He's
playing baseball.
Baseball?
You should have wrestled.
You could have wrestled instead. You could have rolled around on the floor with men when you were a kid.
In a singlet.
In a singlet. A very tight, revealing outfit. You missed out. Yeah, it was great. But I think it's the best sport because it has so much translation for any athlete too. Like I think
it just makes you hyper athletic. I totally agree. Yeah.
So like a lot of the good wrestling coaches would tell good football coaches would tell wrestler to wrestle. They would tell them to
100%.
because like hand fighting and all that stuff.
That was huge. So like for us, our off season we either had to wrestle or run track.
We weren't allowed to do anything. Ray Lewis said that, right? Like he suggests every football player wrestle and do track and field. Like those are the 3 sports you should be doing.
It makes sense, right? So but then especially so when you're of small size.
Yeah. Like
because like football is not really going to be your game because at the end of the day, it's like you no matter how good you are at the sport, when you're physically outgunned, you're always going to, it's not like weight classes.
It's a sport where attributes are a huge thing.
Yeah.
Because and it'd be one thing if there was like a weight class for football. Imagine if
they actually do. There's these like kind of like Pop Warner leagues where there's a weight limit for what you can weigh, and there's like a weight limit on your whole team, and I think they only play like. I think the field is less players in the team, so they do like 8 on 8. It's
really?
like in the South they do that more. Yeah, I remember watching about it. It's really cool.
Because when I grew up playing football, you had different levels for different ages and different weights.
And weights too.
Yeah, we always
had
like
kids they had like bars on their head, like kids who couldn't hold the ball.
Stripers, they're stripers.
Yeah, stripers. That means they're fat, basically. Right? They're the chubby kids.
Yep.
Like you can't touch the ball.
They had to cut weight to make the team or whatever. Like stay on the team and go to nationals and stuff.
But like in general, you can't. It's one of those things. So like a smaller person. Wrestling is like perfect for you because you can still be athletic. You can compete against people, but you have an outlet. So
yeah. And
I'm glad you found wrestling. So you didn't wrestle though before high school?
No, two of my best friends wrestled in like all throughout middle school. And they tried to get me into it. I tried talking to my parents into it. My parents like, no, stay with football. You've been playing it for so long. And it was at that point,
go
like,
to the safer sport.
Yeah, I slowly realized, like, me personally, like, football's not gonna be my thing. Like, I just know I'm way too small coming into high school now. Like, even when I was in 8th grade, I was still like, I want to say in like 8th grade year, I was like 75, 80 pounds. I was still just super.
You're smaller than me.
I was very small. I was a very small kid growing up.
Make sure he's so happy to find something.
I was
wow, you were smaller than I.
Yeah.
So wait, how much did you weigh?
Yeah,
I was like 90. You're 70. Wow.
Yeah. No. So found wrestling from my football coach my freshman year, Jason Potter. I think he's a head coach now at St. Charles still.
Oh, cool.
I think he actually coached Justin from this gym as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's from
St. Charles. Yeah. So he was
good coach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. He was I think the 2-time state champion for I want to say St. Charles, and then coached at Leiden with us. He was my football coach for freshman year. Told me to come wrestle. I did it, fell in love with it, and then I wanted to do it year round.
Nice.
And my parents were like, you have to play football your sophomore year.
We spent too much money on this.
Yeah. I was just devastated because I just wanted to wrestle year round and get better at it.
That's all right.
So yeah, ended up
it
working
all comes
out.
Full circle.
Yeah.
So then you get into jiu-jitsu now, and this is where we're at. And I feel like your wrestling has been a big part of, obviously anyone who wrestles has a little bit of an advantage for grappling because you've already grappled, but the learning curve for jiu-jitsu is there. And it's showing its head. So we're 1-1. Mm-hmm. Third match. Break it down. What tell me how you won first.
Or the semifinal wrestleback?
Your third match.
Third match. That one was pretty much he was very aggressive, like very hard hand fighting. And I was trying to like just kind of wither him away a little bit. I think he tried like pulling guard.
Yeah, is this the kid with the braids?
Yeah. Not the braids.
Short braids.
The shorter dude.
Okay.
This one I end up. Spoiler.
No, spoil it. That one's spoil right now.
Ended up arm triangle.
The people want to know.
Yeah, ended up arm triangle.
Arm triangle.
Yeah.
So you got a good submission because you didn't submit many people. I think you had. What's the matter? Jay's curly hair.
Curly hair. Yes.
Jay, scream it.
Curly hair.
Curly hair. Yeah, that kid.
Producer Jay.
That one felt really good. Again, like coming off of a loss. Like I get in my head a lot when I'm competing. Like I just hold myself to such a high expectation, even though I know I'm a white belt and I know it's just for fun.
Yeah, by the way, white belt. So, in case people were wondering, white belt in jiu-jitsu. So, the level there, it's cool to see that the white belt level, there's some good talent.
Rising is good.
I see the talent. It's really cool.
I was seeing
but then you see the mistakes too, which is cool for us to be able to then tell you, like, try this. Because there's a goal.
So the kid who won your division was heel hooking everybody.
Yes.
And there were times that it was really good, and there were times that it was like, that's not a very good heel hook, but the other person just doesn't know what they're doing, Yeah. Okay, so you win by arm triangle. That match is really good though. So Sergio gets the guy in the arm triangle, drops his hips all the way to the mat, goes super flat, and the guy's hand immediately goes up to tap, and then Sergio takes his hips off the mat. So the guy doesn't tap. And then me and Jared just like, put your hips down, put your hips down. The second he puts his hips down, boom, the guy taps.
Which I'll say as a team, and maybe it's just because I like the move, but I feel like as a team, I've worked a lot on arm triangles with everyone individually. Like I've shown everyone a good arm triangle finish. Anyone who goes for it, I'm pretty confident knows how to finish it, and like you knew how to finish it.
Yeah, I get hit.
Even
on
if you didn't have confidence in it for a moment, you kind of like
you hit me on that. You hit me with them a lot, and I just knew like because before that I had really good like pinning. So I remember talking to him after the match. He's like, "Dude, I feel like I couldn't get out of your side control," and I was like, "I mean, honestly, we worked a lot of pinning here. Like I love side control, so I feel really confident pinning someone there and keeping them down and like being able to move." So I ended up going to mount. And then he immediately started like trying to fish for my leg. Mm-hmm. So I just smothered his face. And then what Jay was yelling at? Jay was yelling through my match. He's like, if you smother him, his arm will come up. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I started smothering him a little bit, his arm came up and I was able to fish it. And I took my time, like making sure I didn't just rush a crappy arm triangle and try and finish it there because I'm going to burn myself out. Because this was still like only like 2 minutes into the match.
Yeah, it was
like,
quick.
I still have another 4 minutes. Like if I don't get the submission, like I don't want to burn myself out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to secure it properly. And again, I didn't know how tight it was. I didn't feel like I had a good grip on it because he wasn't like making any noises. He wasn't trying to squirm. And then I heard, I don't know who I heard. They just said like he's going to tap soon. So I literally remember just dropping really low again and then just cranking as hard as I can.
Good mechanics though.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see your elbow coming down to the hip. Yeah, it was really technical.
Knee blocking his hip. Yeah. So like mechanically it was good.
Yeah.
When you rely on the idea of just strength and just squeezing something, no matter what, you'll always gas out.
And that's how I felt like that Darce was earlier in the other match. I was like, that wasn't really tight, but again, like I wasn't sure his level, and like if he's not comfortable with it, he might
bluff
tap
out of it.
Yeah.
You were trying to take it without earning it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
Deep. Don't take what you haven't earned. Yeah, hit a button. It's been a while.
So wait, so you win that match by arm triangle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, woo! That's really just me doing that. Push my shoulder again. Yeah! Woo!
Awesome. So that's our third win.
It won't turn off.
I'm gonna let it go.
Hold on.
No, let it go. Let it go.
There it goes.
Good job.
All right, so that's 2-1.
Yep.
And now are we in the finals?
The bronze match. Yeah.
All right. So
Bronze match.
Tell us
So
how this
you
went.
wrestled your way back to third place, which we'll say really quick. I think I've said before, but I'm always way more impressed with the third place finish than I am the second place finish.
Because of what you said
No
first.
offense,
it's
Jay.
hard. It's hard to
We'll
lose.
talk about Jay later.
And then
Or
come
me.
back and win.
Yeah.
You know.
Especially
Yeah,
when you
the
hold
third
yourself,
place is always tough.
when you hold yourself to a high standard. Again, I don't feel like I'm a great jiu-jitsu person by any means, but I feel like I'm getting better due to everyone in the room, and we all push
And
each
you're
other.
training.
And we all train hard, you know. So for me, it's like I didn't fly out here to just go 0-2. Like that'd be an embarrassment. It'd be like I don't want that for myself. I don't want that for my team. So for me, I hold myself to a high standard for everyone. Right, same standard I want everyone to hold themselves to. So for me, it was like making that bronze match alone. I was like, okay, cool. Like we made some
least we're in
progress
it,
here.
yeah.
We made some progress here. To Chicago, I didn't feel like I did. Oh,
But if you get that far, it's like
You gotta finish it up.
You gotta
yeah, for
finish
sure.
strong.
And that's the thing. Like,
It's not okay just to go out there and be like, well, I made it to the bronze match.
Yep.
yeah.
Like you're one step away from going home with something.
Yeah, and we talked about that too. We were like, because again, I was a little tired, you know, but again, not tired to the point of like, okay, I'm going to just go out there and get demolished, right? It was like we have one more match.
Yeah.
You can
Give it
either
all.
be you can be tired and win, or be tired and just get.
That's what I told you.
demolished,
I said
right?
lay it all out there,
Lay
man.
it out
It's
there,
just
yeah.
done.
Nothing else
Yep.
to hold
So
it for.
in my mind, it was like I don't care how tired I get. I don't care if this goes into 3 overtimes. Like I'm going to just go out there
your
and grapple.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go out there and grapple. Tackle and grapple.
Tackle and grapple.
So yeah, that match he like tried some weird I think it was an Imanari roll.
Yeah, so he
Well, he tried to
Imanari.
buggy you.
Yeah, he tried. Well, in the beginning,
That's
he tried
later.
to Imanari'd him. He went for Imanari roll, and then
But it was crappy?
And they got into a footlock exchange, and his footlock wasn't very good, and then Sergio was trying to footlock him, but I couldn't see your grip. I don't think your grip was very good either.
I had like it was almost like a rear naked choke grip on his
Yeah,
leg, and
but-
I felt like I could see his faces, and he was like squinting a little bit. So I was
Yeah.
like, if I feel like if I
Are
can
you
drop.
telling me you were staring into his eyes while you were doing it?
Deeply
I'm
into
trying.
his
I'm trying to
eyes.
see. Well, he's like trying to fight my hands, so I can see his face like kind of moving a little bit. And I was like, I feel like this is
Like
somewhat
staring
tight.
him down while
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
tap.
And then he got out, and then he actually got to my back for a split second, and he rolled me through.
Shook him right off though.
Yeah, shook him right
Nice.
off, and then I was able to get to side. Or no, we stood back up.
Yep.
We stood back up. He stayed playing guard, and then I remember you saying like side to side movements.
Yep.
Side to side movements. So I literally just took like one quick step to the outside,
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't keep up, and I was able to fall right into side control.
Nice.
And then he, like I said, he tried a buggy choke, and I've never been hit by one like in competition. I've been hit by them here.
Okay.
So I was like, I feel like I just have to widen out. So I want to say I put my elbow like right in his face.
Yep.
And then you said the ear thing, so I was like trying to do it, but his arm was blocking it. And I got to like right here. I'm like, okay, cool.
Yep.
And then he quickly realized that was not going to work. And then again, back to the whole pinning thing. Like I love side control and the what is the S grip?
Yeah,
you call
I
it?
call it a bicep tie.
The bicep tie. I was able to get to that, and then I held it. I pinned his arm to my ear, and then once he made the mistake of like trying to reach, I literally just caught his hand and boom.
Commonly called a rat trap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic. I mean,
Classic.
Americana. We
It's
talk
an
about
old
when we
school-
teach it.
it's-
It's hard to tap somebody with
I
Americana.
would say it's a white belt move,
Yeah?
and I don't mean that offensively. It's
Yeah.
just like you catch a white belt with a move like that. Side control Americana.
But it was. I mean, you yanked his elbow down to his hip. There was no getting out of that.
But
That was
it's a
super
good-
technical.
It doesn't
Yeah.
mean the move's not good. It's a great move. It's just once you've learned, it's kind of like getting caught with something. It's like it's very hard to finish that guy if
Yeah.
you know where it's going.
Yeah.
So he just kind of put himself in. Oh shit!
It
Too
was,
late.
it was one of those things too. Like I remember going over.
So you
when
get
we
a quick, you get a powerful tap.
Yeah.
People tap,
Yeah.
hard.
When we learned that one, I was like, if someone falls for this, like this is
big
going to be a snap and crank it. That's literally what I did. I was like,
Tackle and grapple.
I'm not tackle and grapple. I'm not wasting any time with this. So I literally cranked it and he tapped right away.
Yeah, and it was cool to see how excited you were.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Sergio jumped up and screamed, and
Yeah.
I always love it because I don't have emotions. I'm kind
So you're-
I'm kind of an empty vessel.
So that was a big moment for you, saying like you hadn't won first in wrestling ever,
Nope.
and then you go out this big tournament to travel to, and you get a third place medal in a big moment. So Very good. Very impressive.
Yeah, and I'll just say one more thing about you, Sergio. It's like, because you mentioned the idea of, or you mentioned the problem of having like a staph infection and all this stuff. So, in my head, I was worried about you. I was worried you even gonna come. I was like, oh man, he's gonna bail.
When you sent me the photo, I didn't think you were coming. Yeah.
So he had a pretty good staph infection. Yeah. You got on antibiotics, and if anyone's ever competed on antibiotics, I've had some bad experience. I had an MMA fight. It was like my 4th MMA fight, amateur fight, and I had a bad infection, and I was on antibiotics. I was like on them while I did the fight, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
Antibiotics
are rough.
It really messed with my cardio, my energy. I felt like shit. So I know it's tough. So I was hoping not to let that get in your head. And, so I'm super impressed with you, man. I told you as a joke, but it's also true. It's like, you're officially a good grappler now. You went from just a guy who grapples to a guy who can grapple well.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because like you said, like you were worried I was gonna go. I told Lisa, I was like, it's gonna cost me more to cancel my trip.
So you gotta go.
Than it would to just not go, like to go and just not compete, right? So I was like, we'll see how it goes, and it ended up getting better. And I was like, yeah, there's no reason I'm not gonna go out there. Again, if I go 0-2, I learned something. It is what it is. Like
it was worth it.
Yeah, it was worth it.
And so look at that's kind of like the whole idea of doing a tournament is you kind of have to, put yourself out there and try something that's going to be difficult, and when things get even extra difficult, it's like you're not going to ever have that cool feeling of you jumping up and being excited if you don't risk something and try something. It could be easy to just be like, I'll wait for the next one when I feel better. It's like, oh.
What was in that book? What was the quote from the book?
What was it?
Oh, yeah. It was like, dare to be vulnerable?
No,
be vulnerable?
Well, no. Well, yeah, there was that. But the name of the book was...
Dare to be great. So like
daring greatly.
Daring greatly? Yeah,
where's Taylor?
Like yeah.
Hold on, I'll find it.
But so with that, we asked Taylor what the thing she read from her book was, and she said it said be vulnerable. You got to be willing to be vulnerable.
In order to dare greatly, you must be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And every time we compete, we're vulnerable to like you said, you don't want to go 0-2 and come back and you feel bad. And,
and like I said, I was.
Yeah, I think how much worse that is than 0-1.
I feel like I keep repeating, like I said, but that's like my main thing I say.
How much worse it is than 0-1? That's funny.
It's true though, right? That would hurt, man. That's
I think a lot of the emotions I had after that 3rd place match was a lot of it came from Chicago. Like I felt like I had unfinished business. Like I felt really good that
you
first
really
match.
wanted that Chicago medal.
Chicago medal. Like again, we worked so hard for it as a team. Again, like I'm all about teamwork. Like that's one thing I love about jiu-jitsu and wrestling. It's like it's not just you out there. It's like a team, right?
Yeah, like an underlying team.
Yeah, I miss the team aspect.
There.
Yeah, I miss the team aspect. You know, that's when I was weightlifting. Like I was like, this is like. It's great weightlifting stuff, but there's nothing to work towards with like camaraderie and people. Like this is now like
maybe a little bit, right? Like a lifting buddy, but it's not the same.
Yeah, no. Jeremiah was my lifting buddy. Like we lifted all throughout college, and it was great and all. But again, like we weren't actively competing. We were just kind of like doing bro workouts. And I was like, this is.
Well, the best way I've ever heard it. I probably said this on the podcast before, but just
say it again. Baby.
You're competing as an individual, but we're doing it all together. Yeah. All of us are doing it together as a team, but then you go out there as an individual. So that's a really cool.
Can you give me an analogy?
An analogy. What else do you do that with?
I feel like you've been doing a lot of analogies.
I mean, other sports like that, wrestling and stuff is like that, I guess. What's it like that in life?
There's not too many other things, right? Because a lot of it's like you're either on your own or you're completely together.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some sort of like
most like team sports, you're like out there with people. You share the blame.
The thing that kind of came to my mind was like maybe someone like Ian, someone who has a job like that where he goes to like a group of people and they all learn how to do stuff around people's houses, but then he goes and does his job by himself.
But he's got to have that community.
Yeah, he's got to have that community to learn that stuff.
And really, I guess it's everything.
It's everything, right? Everything that you do as an individual, you cannot get really good by yourself. So here's a good all the people who play are like streamers who play like video games, right? They are all in it for themselves,
right?
But they have to play each other to get really good. So they're all in it together.
They all left, if everyone stopped playing,
they'd all just be playing the computer, and then no one would ever get really good.
Yeah. Love it. I like your analogies.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna prod them out of you more.
Good.
Because you do good ones.
I do good. I think they're better when
they put the pressure on you.
Yeah, the pressure makes it hard. You gotta make it random.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I'll get you with more.
Awesome. I like
it. Congrats again, Sergio. Let's finish some recaps with some of the other matches. Yeah. So who'd we go with? It was me.
So our crew was you, me, Sergio, Jay,
Mr. J,
Taylor,
Giuseppe, the man.
Yep. And then we could even say just hasn't been part of the team, but has been coming by and training with us. Jesus. Came by as well. So that was kind of our Chicago crew that we brought out there.
It was awesome. How much fun was it to have like a group of people?
Amazing. I mean, you and me have had a lot of fun, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so we go back to the beginning. It was just me and Kyle traveling by ourselves, and we have a good time.
We had a good time.
Like if you guys weren't there, we still would have had fun.
I mean, let me tell you, that karaoke would have been a good time.
It would have still been fun. But having everyone there just made it a little bit better.
A little bit better.
And I feel like every time we've done a trip, we've brought someone or multiple people with.
You know what's been really funny for me though, and cool about it is we brought different people every time, which makes it really
different vibes.
That makes it awesome. Yeah,
I would say this vibe, and it's not to downplay the other ones that were fun. It was like the most fun.
We had a lot of fun.
Maybe it's Orlando though.
It might be Florida.
Florida's a good vibe.
At least we don't go through their airport.
I hate Orlando.
Shout out Orlando Airport. Your TSA should not have a
Sucks.
job.
That was terrible.
Yeah,
But it's not the first time. Every time we've been there, we've had troubles.
yeah. So
Not like troubles, but they're just slow.
they're just slow. Yeah.
Which, people say it's just a southern thing.
Yeah, I remember the first time we went there for one of the retreats. All the like waitresses and stuff, they weren't like rude, but it was just like this.
Yeah, it's not rude. It's just they're like don't want to work.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the thing that we're paying them for.
And I guess you can't blame them. They want to go out to the beach.
Yeah, when it's warm out. So like that was why it was so fun though, right? So we get there, it's getting a little chilly back home. We get out there, there's nice sun.
Yep.
We are at and we let Sergio plan this whole thing, which is a new turn of events for us.
Yeah.
Mostly it's me. I basically just do I like find the place that we're gonna go cut weight.
Yep.
So that was my job, my responsibility, and the food. I would be like, I want to
Joey's
find
the
a
food
restaurant.
guy,
I
yeah.
like finding restaurants. It's one of my favorites. And then Kyle would get the hotel. And sometimes Kyle wouldn't even get the hotel. Sometimes we'd show up and they'd be like, you don't have a room for tonight.
That was
and
just
we'd be
one
like,
time.
Well, there's a couple times I'm going to say. It sounds better when we say
Yeah,
that.
you got to make it sound worse, right? Yeah. Every single time.
Kyle forgot to
I
put
just
the-
charmed the lady at the front desk into giving
Kyle's
us a room.
Kyle like, turns to me like, I got an email. I don't know what happened.
What am I supposed to do here?
But then Kyle smiles. He gives him the old dog face charm. And,
Boom.
and before you know it, we're sleeping in the
We're in.
hotel.
Yep, we got
We're
a room.
sleeping on the floor. In the
Yep.
lobby. Yeah. But this time, Sergio was in charge. And Sergio, I guess, is just an organized motherfucker.
He killed it.
Or I feel like you're not only organized, but you're financially organized. You know what I'm saying? Like you know how to like bundle some stuff together.
Yeah, shout out
me and
to my
Kyle
mom.
don't do that.
Now,
That's
you're
my
very
mom
good
on
at
that
that. Now, your ability to find parking lots, I might say, is
Or to park in the spaces of the parking
Yeah,
lot.
parking this weekend was
We have a
bit
lot
atrocious.
of judgments on
There's
that.
a lot of like reversing and fixing my parking. It was not my best moment.
It's a new car.
It's a new car. Yeah.
Wait, tell me, you said your mom taught you?
Yeah,
all
my
this?
mom's always big like into like when I was a kid, my mom opened me a credit card and like in my name and she used it and stuff like that. And again, so it's like one of those things. I'm building my credit as a kid, and then she taught me how to be like financially free and like not
Good
have
lessons.
debt. Yeah,
That's I never got any of that. Yeah.
yeah, teaching like again like
Linda
even,
and Cindy, we love you.
I go to the bank and they show me my credit score and I go, oh, Jesus
God.
Christ.
yeah. So for me, it was like like, even paying a statement balance versus like your full bail and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that stuff my mom taught me. Like I would say like late high school, early college.
That's
so,
great.
Like, it's
That's
translated
amazing.
to now, and I was like, okay, like I can piece together stuff with like my law enforcement discount and stuff like that. But I was like, the bundle is just so much easier with Costco and making it way easier. So they're working out.
Which,
perfectly.
was interesting because I thought Costco. Just,
Shout out Costco.
Yeah, I just thought they sold meat and stuff.
But they
But
sell trips to Florida.
They sold ADCC packages.
Yeah.
trips to everywhere because once they announced, I want to say it was possibly the Texas Open. I was looking to go to that one too already.
And Costco
And
just
I was looking
popped
at
up.
dude. I was looking at bundles already for us. I was like, all right, if it's gonna be four of us again, like
so
let's
you
do
bundled this trip. You had the flight. You had the rental
Mm-hmm.
car. You had the hotel. Now the hotel is what I wanted to focus on.
High
That hotel
class.
was nice. I mean, there was like a guard. We had to get in under the guard.
There was a gate.
There was a gate. We had to get in, and once we got in, there was waterfalls. There was restaurants.
There were ponds we couldn't swim in.
There was ponds with ducks in them.
It was amazing.
We had our own sauna.
Yeah, we got to cut weight
was
at the
crucial.
hotel.
It was like it was really. I mean, this was the nicest setup. I don't think it could have been nicer.
No.
We had a private dry sauna. We had a steam sauna. We had a pool table.
We had a hot tub.
We had a ping pong table. Hot tub.
Yep.
We had a karaoke bar.
Yep.
All in our premises.
We had trivia.
We had trivia, which,
night.
by the way, thought we got robbed a little bit.
We did
There's
get around.
no way they got 16.
Yeah, there were some
They
that were
lied.
pretty hard
There's
though.
no
out there.
way.
Yeah.
There was a couple hard ones, but I think the trivia that I was very proud of a few of the answers that we had.
We're pretty good.
We were
yeah,
pretty
we
good.
got Francis Scott Key.
Francis
That was
Scott
pretty
Key.
good. I don't even know what he
wrote
was the answer
Star
to.
Spangled Banner.
I just remember that name.
It took a long time
Yeah.
for us to get that one.
Yeah,
but
we
got
had
it.
Scott Key just written down for a long time. Then I was like, I think it's Francis. Yeah.
And I was like, Francis Ngannou. I mean, no. Yeah, no.
Okay, so let's go back to a little recap.
Yeah, where we at?
So we had Sergio competed, and then our other two people in the morning would have been Jay and Taylor. They kind of rounded out the morning.
The other white belt.
Yep.
So Jay, we'll do Jay, and then we'll talk about blue belt.
Awesome.
Taylor. So let's recap Jay, because Jay also brought home some hardware, and we talked about Jay was on the podcast, and we talked about like goals, and wants to get three good gold medals in his white belt before potentially moving to a blue belt. And so his first match runs through the guy, and I'm trying to tell him, like, think about your positions, calm, and he just boom,
taps him right away.
Choke, gets a tap, and then second match was a really thick, stockier guy. He Jay ended up weighing in really light for his weight class, which was
155.
155. He ended up weighing like 150.
Yeah. He was helping me cut weight.
And he's just light. He was like debating whether he was going to do 145, but there was no one in the Masters division at 145. Okay. So we're just like, go up.
That's better than.
But then, not without even, knowing, they just, when the bracket came out, they put him all the way up to 76 kilograms or 77.
76, yeah, it's 76 kgs, yeah.
Yeah. So that's, that goes up to what? Like 180,
I think it's 170. I think it's 170.
168,
170, yeah.
Something like that.
And it was very noticeable. I mean, these people were noticeably bigger than you, for sure.
Yeah, so that second match was a really big dude, and, same thing. He just, did really good hand fighting, because me, Jay, Taylor, and Sergio all were doing a lot of like hand fighting conditioning stuff, and you can tell his hand fighting's been really improved, and but then he ended up on the guy's back again, just couldn't finish. Yep. And, I could tell he was even disappointed because he wanted to finish. But the guy had no neck, so it's really tough to choke people.
And when someone's just trying to not get choked and not win,
tough.
You got to take your win.
So it was like 9-0 good win. And so now he's going first place against a guy, and he same thing. He again out wrestles him, takes his back. And I had a moment while I'm coaching, I'm like, oh well, he needs to. The level is too low.
Yeah,
for him.
he's too good. Yeah,
he's getting too good. It's like he's just having too much success. Which you want a healthy level of that, but you also want to have him challenged.
To have him go up a weight class and then kind of maul people. Yeah,
he's got to go up skill level.
Yeah.
His skill level's too high. But he couldn't get the finish and made some tactical, not mistakes, but choices that led him not to get scored, not to equal his score.
I would even put it like this: just. You did the one in Chicago, right? So it's your second time doing the ADCC Open. For you and me, it took a few times to really intricately learn the rules. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's just like a little bit of a better understanding of the rules would have definitely helped for sure.
Yeah, and like just trying to play the rules, right? Because even if you know it, if you're just trying to finish the person and you're not trying to take the hook off, if you're on someone's back after the 3 minutes of no points, you have to actually make a choice to be like, all right, how am I going to score?
Yeah.
You got to take a hook all the way off for 3 seconds, put it back on all the way. It's like, that could have been something that, you do that one time and, you win the match.
Yep.
But they go to overtime and Jay gets caught in a guillotine, which mistakes-wise, we talked to him about it. So it's nothing he hasn't heard, but it's, it's more of a mistake. This is a good lesson in general. I think a lot of people who get caught with guillotines start to understand is that the more you start using your hands to defend the guillotine, the more likely you are to get finished.
Yeah.
Like your job, your hands are really should be designated towards the hips, not the hands. Like if you're sitting on your knees and someone grabs a guillotine, you start fighting their hands, then their legs start wrapping around you. Now the choke is going to get a little tighter.
Agree.
So it's a big lesson for him that I hope will stick. I know it will stick because every time you learn, that's what tournaments are really good for. If you get caught, you're going to learn something.
Yeah.
So I'm more happy. The alternative was Jay has one match with one guy at 145 or whatever, or 155.
Yeah.
And, has two matches. And if he takes first, I'd rather him take second in a tough division than take first in a division where he didn't get as many matches.
Totally agree. I mean,
I know it's not as fun sometimes,
but you actually did a tournament.
It's better.
You didn't just do a super fight
Long-term
match.
development is so much better.
Yeah, that was
so
amazing.
We're proud of you, Jay. Good job.
Shout out, Jay.
There. Yep.
Oh,
wait,
no, we need this one. Awesome.
Crickets. No one cares, Jay. No, Jay.
He wasn't talking.
Was
That's
awesome.
why I hit the crickets. Yeah, we couldn't get him on.
It was a great performance, man.
Super
Very
impressed.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, now Taylor, blue belt Taylor, which we'll say like this is something I was thinking about. It's like because I kept hearing people say it. And I know it's not like how they label it, but I kept hearing like Andrew DeGraff's dad and like other people like our division was like the pros. They would say like, oh, those are pros.
Okay.
Like, the pros are competing now. It's also known as just the advanced division, but they would say pros. So it's almost like then what would be the amateur? The white belts are the AMIs, right? So like you were in the AMIs.
Yep.
Then what would be the intermediate? It's like the semi-pro.
College kids.
Semi-pro. The semi-pros.
D1 AA.
I would say it's like semi-pro.
I like that.
Like, what was the name?
Will Ferrell's movie, Jackie Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. So Taylor's in the semi.
Shout out Semi-Pro, one of the greatest
Shout out
movies
Will
ever.
Ferrell.
Yeah, that's oh man, amazing.
We love that movie. But shout out also to Ricky Bobby.
Shout out Ricky Bobby.
We watched that movie over the weekend.
That really. You guys ever heard of a gasoline fire?
Yeah. You guys ever heard of short-term memory loss?
Due to gasoline fires.
Long story. We'll talk about it later if you guys want. We could. But focused on this recap. But Taylor is like, in my mind, in that semi-pro division, which is like, you get some interesting matchups.
Yeah.
Where like you have someone who's really like is a pro.
There's a lot of people who are doing intermediate and advanced.
And winning both.
And just that's not right.
But it's not right, but it is though, because like think about it, like it can be if you have someone who's like a 17-year-old phenom, you can't just throw them away, like not let them have that experience of that semi-pro. I just think once they win that, they need to graduate.
That's
out.
what I'm saying. Once they've won,
Once
you can do that
but,
once.
Yeah, like you shouldn't be able to just keep winning both of those. But but at the same time, like they are that, right? Like if you're a 16-year-old kid, it's like you should have that. But my point is with the semi-pro idea, like the intermediate division, is that you have some purple belts who are those phenoms, who are still in that, and then you have some who are the new blue belt who really like is still in that almost like amateur phase still in their progression. They're still learning through the ropes of it. Yeah, only a few tournaments in. Mm-hmm. So by that time, like a purple belt who's really competitive probably has 50, 60 tournaments under their belt.
Hundreds of matches, probably.
Hundreds of matches and 50 tournaments. Yeah. Like for Taylor, she's only had 5 tournaments. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5. Yeah. This might have been 6 or 5. I don't know.
I think this might have been 5 for her. Yeah.
Yeah. So and she did really good. So obviously, I'm really what's the word? I
like critical. I think
critical.
That's a good.
Yeah. I'm always really critical of like performance in a good way. Because I have a lot of expectation with Taylor. I feel like she trains a lot. Yeah. So the more you train, the more healthy expectation you get, because I know what you can do. I know how good you are. And Taylor, I know she's like so good. Yeah. Really, really smart, really good in practice. And she, we talked about it last night. So this is, again, I don't feel comfortable saying things that I didn't tell them first. Yep. And like, I think it's just a performance problem more than it is a skill problem. Okay. So she is struggling with performance and like just kind of like she like doesn't know what her game is.
That's hilarious that you said that, because I said the same thing to her later. I was like, there's stages of it. Joey was talking to me about training versus performance, and maybe you're just having a little bit of performance problems.
And it can be anxiety, because she does get nervous like everyone, but she gets really nervous, which that's why more than anything, the biggest victory is just showing up. Yep. If she, we talked about that, but for this in particular, you have to do a lot to show up. You got to pay for it. You got to get on a plane.
You got to take off work.
You got to take off work. There's a lot of things that you have to then commit to show up for this. It's not just like a weekend tournament somewhere. So, she got through that anxiety to go compete. And it's I think the tournament levels was good. That first match was a really tough match, and she was in it. Super Every tough. Match she was in, which is good.
That first match was really, really close.
Really close. Yeah. I think she was down by 1 point and then got caught with a Kimura, but she got caught with it twice. Yeah. Right. So these are the critical elements where it's like you got to learn some. You got to be able to make in-match adjustments. Yeah. And you can't just let things keep happening, because then you're not really there. Mm-hmm. Right. You're unaware of what's happening. But those are that semi-pro versus pro like behavior while you're grappling.
Yeah. So that was her first match.
Who the girl who took first?
Yeah,
she was definitely the highest level. Yeah, like by a long shot.
And just and it's a smaller division, but that girl's arms look like my arms. She was a strong girl.
Right,
yeah.
So and again, Taylor's competing in the same division.
These arms are heat. Sorry.
Show the arms.
Show the guns, baby.
I don't think so.
I don't got guns.
I'm gonna be honest, Kyle. Those arms look malnourished right now, and we'll get back to why.
Right to my heart.
We'll get to recap.
Yeah, we'll recap me later. Yeah.
Malnourished arms coming up.
So that was her first match.
Her first match, and then her second match is against a girl who, it's like I think is that bottom of the barrel. That's why I kind of said it, and I don't mean that in a mean way for her, but she was like that very amateur-esque. She was just a tough girl, but just kind of not super skilled. And I was almost same way, and I think even Taylor felt that way. It was like disappointed that she didn't find the finish. The match wasn't easier. It was a tough match.
It was a tough match.
She ended up going to overtime. She almost lost.
There was like with a minute left, she got mounted.
Yeah.
And then she ended up reversing it and tying the match back up.
To get back to overtime, which is crazy. It was a very, very tough match for her that I don't think should have been.
And then in overtime, right away, she tried to pull guard. We had to yell at her.
We watched the match, that night afterwards. She's like, I don't know what was happening. She's like, I just didn't know. She was like pulling a hair out of her mouth, and then went to go pull it out. She's like, oh, wait, it's overtime. I can't pull guard. But she did great, and a lot of it, I think you said it already earlier, is like just mental toughness and like pushing. Yeah,
she dogged it. I mean, that match, you could tell when it went to overtime, there was a point where she kind of like, she turned away from you and she was facing towards me. And I was just like, she's as tired as you are. Like, put it on her. Don't let that person know that you're as tired as them. Make them feel like they're the tired one.
Bluffing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have that. And, she did great. So then she ended up getting the finish. Rear naked choke on that. And then third place match. So this is to go for third place because she won a match earlier too, which is through a bye.
Okay.
So it's win, loss, win, and now for third place. The girl was good. I think she was really talented, had a good bottom game, and Taylor.
Yeah, it was a deep half girl, and that was the girl went deep half on Taylor, and then Taylor tried to deep half her back, and that's going to be hard against someone who's that's their game.
It got a little tangly up, and she, I think she got caught again in another way of just total like lack of awareness and like a little bit of laziness on her knees. Instead of passing active, we went and watched the video too. Again, it's like when you watch the video, you can see so much stuff that you can't see when you're going live.
Yeah.
But like when you're passing guard, if you want to move, you can't have dead toes.
Yes.
So like if you're going to be on your knees and the tops of your feet are touching the floor, like that's never going to be a good sign. That's a sure sign that you're about to get submitted or you're going to get swept because you're not moving, right? So there's only a few examples like in a closed guard where it might be appropriate for you to untuck your toes and sit back for certain reasons.
I remember,
but in half guard, there's no positive there if you're looking to pass.
There's this Estonian guy that I used to watch jiu-jitsu videos of. His name's like Prit Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
And he would say if he ever sees someone not with active toes, he's like, they're disrespecting my guard, I just push them over right away. They can't stay up,
I really do believe it. Like live toes, you got to be able to move. You're no longer mobile. You've just killed your ability to move.
Yeah.
And there's a good that's where she gets caught. She's just like sitting with her toes untucked, sitting back, and like she did. Let's say the good things is she like escaped like 3 really close submissions.
Yeah.
Right before that, I think it was almost like I want to just relax for a moment. But you can't.
And they're still coming at
you. But you can't because now you're still on defense. So you got to get to offense, which she could have if she would have got that double unders pass. And so she ended up getting caught with like a triangle armbar scenario.
Yeah.
But we're super proud of her. I think she did awesome.
I was really impressed with her performance. Man,
I think she, again, jumped a big level, learned a lot from Chicago to this, and she's going to learn a lot again. And, she's got that like, fighting heart where she's like excited to go fix problems.
Yeah. Wants to
and
get
that's
better.
all it takes. As long as you want to fix your problems, it's like competing is going to be good for you. If you're someone who can't handle stress, you probably shouldn't compete.
Yeah, and she's improved a lot too. Again, like me being a wrestler, I like to hand fight, and
she's awesome.
She gives me the business sometimes when it comes to hand fight, and I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I'm concerned with like a couple of things that we've been doing when it comes to the conditioning hand fighting because she got into this like robotic stage by the end of it, and then maybe because she was a little tired, but she was like going into that like how we were doing it for conditioning, which is just get aggressive. But like no technique to it. She was just like grabbing girl with 2 hands, like I was like
clubbing her.
Yeah, just slow down. Like maybe think about what the goals are with it. Yeah. So everyone did awesome with that. What's next?
So that was the morning.
So that was the morning. So then let's talk about the day, huh?
Oh, it was long.
What a day! So that started. We're thinking like, hey, it's not going to be too bad because we'll be able to relax, sleep in, maybe even go to the pool after getting breakfast.
Yep.
But that didn't happen. So
everything just kept getting moved around and rushed.
Kept moved around. So it's like this like stressful time of all them competing, and then there's this giant break before myself and Kyle and like the pro.
Yeah, we had like 5 hours. Yeah,
like 5 hours. Yeah. So Kyle did not wake up the entire time. He just laid on the concrete sleeping. I tried to sleep for a little bit. My back hurt.
Yeah, I was trying to sleep. Really just laying there with my eyes closed. Yeah.
So, we had this giant break. So this is now I think 7 p.m. when I started.
Yep.
Right, 7:30 maybe. I don't remember. But so it's late, 7 p.m. So after, all day coaching and stuff. And let's just say the night didn't end. Our last match that we were coaching and, training for Giuseppe was I want to say 12:30 or
it was the next day for sure.
1 a.m. almost.
I think it was 12:30, and then I want to say the second round of the absolutes starting around 12:45, 1 a.m.
Crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was just
and
a
we had to
long
walk 30
day.
minutes of the car.
Yeah, then we got lost, and, and at the end of the day, right now, there's a reason why we sound the way we sound. At least I know I'm really tired.
We are tired boys.
I didn't sleep. Did not sleep. I slept on the plane a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah,
that was about it.
I think I slept for an hour last night.
I did not.
Yeah.
I think my watch told me 45 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's
Not
why
good.
we sound like we're in slow motion.
Wait, where's the crickets?
Wait, hold on. We could do this.
It's what? Wait, wrong one.
That's why we sound like this. Okay, no more.
Yep. So it's because I'm tired.
Awesome.
So it goes to us now. So the pros, I got to go first, which was nice. I kind of got my division almost completely done by the time you were starting.
It was pretty close.
I think you had one match before my finals, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But yeah, I had my matches. You want to talk about my matches?
Yeah. So
Why don't you do that? Did you see my matches?
I didn't see all your matches. I definitely didn't see all of them.
You see my first one?
I think I coached you for your first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me think. What does the kid look like?
No,
I remember I saw you with the
North-South
Italian
choke.
guy.
He was a Brazilian.
Yeah, and then the North South choke with the kid,
That
the
was my
Bravo
first
kid,
one.
right? Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
first match,
You
yeah.
kind of mauled that kid.
Yeah, I mauled him pretty
Yeah.
good. Felt
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He went for a Craig Jones footlock is what you said to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm good.
You just turned right out of that.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Yeah, you said that. I was like, okay, I'm good. But he was good though. He wasn't bad. But then once I passed his guard, I actually almost tapped him out with my neck,
yeah.
which was a new technique I've never done before. Speaking of pinning, right? It's I have a good side control pin that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, pretty
My
relentless.
underhook and my crossface. I just put my neck across his face, almost like he had made him give me a hickey, and he just could not make he couldn't get space, and the panic really set in.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what led to him just basically throwing both his arms down and giving me north south, right into the north south.
And yeah, you have one of the, and this is why it's amazing to me is, I wouldn't say it's the most powerful I've ever felt.
Yeah, it's not
you
very
have
powerful.
the best north-south choke I've ever felt in my life.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I love north south chokes. I feel like it's an underrated tool.
it's relentless when you get me in there. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's a very slow technique. And even there, with that guy, I still
Took you 5-6 seconds to tap
to a
him.
while,
Yeah.
and I just hold it and I don't squeeze. I just wait.
Yep.
It really works well.
You let them panic their way into tapping.
Yeah. Yeah, which we'll say too. I don't mind saying it because I don't know who she is, but our referee was pretty bad.
Your referee was very horrible.
Yeah.
She was more interested in not jujitsu.
She just was I really do believe especially, and again it goes back to pros versus amateurs and whatnot. At the pro level, people who've been doing this for a long time, they won't stop going for a submission until the ref tells them to stop. And I have enough awareness. I feel the person tap. I'm not gonna just kill the person.
Yeah.
But she had zero interest in stopping a match. So in that first match, I realized that because I'm this guy's tapping and he's tapping. And I'm looking at her and she's has no expression on her face, just staring at me. So I have to let go of him, which I'm not comfortable with. What if he's what if he's oh, I did tap.
Yep.
Oh, well, how am I? What is she supposed to do?
Yep.
I don't. So it's just not the right way to ref. The whole point of the ref really is for that main reason. The scorekeepers, they're scorekeepers. The refs can help signal that, but the scorekeepers keep score. Her job is to make sure that the submission is a submission.
People don't hurt each other. Yeah.
For the most part.
Yep.
And people do hurt each other, but they have to stop them. They say tap, you touch the person who's doing the
And
submission.
you got to grab them.
Just
and start.
grab. Yeah. It's I don't know. I think that's an educational issue there, but she was the only bad ref that I saw.
Yeah. I remember saying that when I was in California, I got heel hooked so bad. I was just tap, 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 tap,
Yeah.
tap.
I'll even tell the referees, if I tap, help me out.
Yeah,
Don't-
I've told him every single time I get that one big ref. He goes I want you guys to emphasize that you're going to tap, and I'm I'm a screamer. I'm gonna
And if
yell.
I scream,
Yep.
stop it.
Yeah, you're gonna know.
But it was fun, she had that issue, and I literally right then and there just said to her, hey, you need to tell the person to stop because people won't stop.
And I will say,
and she just like rolled her eyes.
She
at
did
me.
step in some matches after that, not all of them.
Well, you know what? Well, then I told the table too, and and they kind of gave me dirty looks too. Like it was like a weird environment on that side of the mat.
But then someone in your division got heel hooked really bad, and she didn't stop
everyone,
it.
Everyone was
same
getting
kid,
hurt.
I think, got heel hooked in the next round in the wrestle match.
Yeah, got hurt pretty bad.
And
I'm sure.
he was tapping, tap, and he started yelling, and that's when she finally jumped in. And I'm like,
yeah.
oh my gosh! Like,
no,
this
so I told them,
lose,
and
knee.
Oh yeah, people can get really badly hurt, and it's again, it's like part of it, but it's like that's their job is to help, to make it not as bad.
We've agreed to do this to a certain point.
Yeah,
till one of us gives up, and when one of us gives up, it should be over.
To the guy who I eventually lost to for the finals, who's a friend of ours, a friend of mine. I competed against him 2 years ago, and I'll get to that. But I talked to his his dad too, and he's a nice guy. We're really friendly. But like I said, like I'll protect him and he'll protect me. Like I know when people tap, so we'll take care of each other as best we can.
Yep.
But it is they need to also do that.
Yeah.
Like it's because we're competitors and we want to win. So I don't want to not, especially with like heel hooks and stuff like that, like leg locks.
Yep.
Like you have to actually put real force into anything in order to get me to tap.
Yep.
So you can't fake. You can't just hold it and I'm just going to tap right away. You have to actually
put some pressure on your leg. Yeah.
And a good referee will be right there to kind of like try to jump on it. And it's a matter of like
inches, not even
fraction.
inches.
Like I don't know how to even break that down. It's not much time.
Yeah, it happens
before
quick.
the break and the tap, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so
that was your first match?
That was my first match.
You had
which was
the first kind of deep guillotine, right, to start the match.
Yeah, it was pretty tight. It was a fun match. Like I thought it was good. I got slammed on my butt and the mat was really.
That was it. They put all
I put a good guillotine on and got
pros
slammed.
versus semi-pros and amateurs. I'd get putting me on that mat because I'm an amateur, but putting pros on that little tiny square and that crappy mat.
And again, that's
nice
what
mats.
Andrew's dad said was like, why are the pros on this shitty
tiny
mat?
little mat? Yeah,
it was like very thin wrestling mat on concrete, so you felt it.
Yeah,
and it was fun. That was a good first match. And my second match was against this guy who was a really good like MMA wrestling style. So
different guy, right?
Yeah. Wasn't like a jiu-jitsu finesse guy. He was more of like a scrappy, scrambly.
Because you took him down a few times, but he would just.
And me and Sergio watched his first
back
match, and I said that too. I was like, he's very athletic.
Yeah.
But it's a good match for me. Like I can hold my own athletically, but I'm also like I'm good. Like, I can like.
You're much more technical than him.
I can slow things down when I need to. So it became that match, which was fun. Like I said that to Taylor too. Is like my nervous tendencies are like to make matches fun when I'm nervous. So like I like high five people and like smile and giggle and like I have a good time.
Yeah,
you do the same.
100%. Yeah.
So I think it's just like our personality.
Yeah, I got it fun out there.
And like I like it. I rather have fun. So like with him, it was really fun. Like we were aggressive wrestling. We wrestled off the mat and like it was just fun. So like. I enjoy getting a match where I know the person wants to wrestle too, because it's like my joy is to wrestle, and I felt so good. I felt so comfortable.
Yeah,
because I watched him like just smoke through people wrestling wise. So like I'm like, well, I want to see maybe he's the guy. Like
he didn't offer you much offense.
Not much. I mean, he had a couple good shots, but like the issue is like the issue for him is that every time he touched me, I put a threat into something, his neck or even just my hips. Like it was hard for him to do anything. Yeah. So he ended up like getting smashed and then like pull guard and then try to scramble up. Yep. And it was exhausting, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And he was good shape.
Yeah.
But that's really a lot harder than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I always win that battle of attrition when that's the type of match it is. So I ended up getting his back and then. I won. I couldn't get the finish, which something I'm working on. But man, I just feel like I can't win those hand fights against good guys.
Yeah,
like,
you have trouble sometimes.
Just like holding my hands, I can't pull it back.
Yeah,
I had a good body. Like he was never gonna. Escape.
He wasn't gonna get out. No.
I went for an armbar kind of sloppily at the end just to try something because I was up by like 9 points. But I could have committed to it harder.
Were you purposely paying the overhook side?
No,
more?
He just kept doing that.
Okay, yeah, because that was something I noticed was happening a lot.
Side.
Yeah, you were trying to stay
like feeding the arm. Yeah, I just couldn't get the finish the way I wanted to. So that was a little disappointing. But so now I'm in the finals because I won. It was 3 matches to get there.
Yep.
And then in the finals was against this guy who I just said was like a friend of ours, and he's a young kid. So I faced him at the.
He was your first ever ADCC match.
My first ever, yeah. Which, at the time I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this guy. He's probably not that good.
Well, the one thing I remember is, you competed against him. It was trials, and Joey wins like 3-0, and then he comes off the mat, and his dad comes over to us, and he's like, yeah, that's my son. He's only 16. And Joey turns around to me right away and goes, I feel old.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yep.
Yeah. So that was 2 years ago. So now he's like a 17, 18-year-old kid. I don't know exactly how old he is.
Got little muscles on him now.
Little muscles. He's stronger. He's just an improved version of himself. So we do this match. I know what's going to happen. I knew we were going to face each other again eventually. It's been 2 years since we faced each other, and I felt really good. I'm happy with how I felt, to be honest. I got caught with some, a move with a leg lock in a weird exchange at the end, but throughout the match, I felt really good. Takedown wise, submission, escape wise, like leg locks. His leg locks have gotten really good, a lot
super
better.
Strong, right?
So he's now trains with John Donaher. He 100% goes there all the time, where he wasn't when I first faced him.
Yeah.
And I say the biggest, he felt the same in every way except for obviously physically. He's like a little bit stronger now than he was before.
Yep.
But like he has the same style, like his way of moving, and he but his leg lock finishing
is really good.
Is like now like more aggressive and mean.
Okay.
Like he's got this like gripping that like feels like you.
Okay.
Right. Like, and that's the difference. That's why I've never been submitted with a leg lock in a competition. I can't think of me getting submitted with a leg lock. Every time it was rear naked chokes.
Yeah.
I've never been submitted with a leg lock, I don't think, ever.
Yeah,
in a
I don't
live
think so.
in a competitive match.
Yeah.
That I can think of. I'd have to really look it back. I don't think I ever have.
No.
Because like every time someone goes for a leg lock, compared to Kyle, it never feels dangerous at first. Like it's like they grip it and I just like point my toes and my heel slips and never feels like that. But like he had a good grip on everything. Like felt like your wrists.
Yeah.
Like this bony wrist on my
just on
which
you.
I think it's just the grips that they train.
Yeah.
That I think really well.
They spend hours doing that stuff, yeah.
So he's got a really dangerous leg lock game, which he submitted everyone with leg locks. A lot of the guys he did. I think he had 3 leg kimuras.
It was that. He was doing Tariqa Plata and then he was going for leg locks.
Like that Chobar,
Yep.
Tariqa Plata scenario or leg kimura, and then all leg locks. But yeah, so he ended up catching me at the end. So like it was a crummy exchange. I didn't really think about it at the time, but I went back and rewatched it, and I was on his back, and then the same referee that we don't like, kind of like stopped us. It wouldn't stop us any other time, but stopped us like in the middle of a really like
good exchange.
I passed his guard, he inverted, I dove for his back, and he's like trying to grab my leg, and I had a body lock with my chest on his butt underneath him, and she stops us, and then like resets us in the middle, and he starts with my leg completely entangled. And like I have a body, and he's like, no, I want the leg. I was like, okay. I mean, I know you want the leg, but I didn't
give it to you.
Yeah. And he even said after the match, sorry about the crummy restart. Like he said that.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I was like, yeah, it was pretty crummy, huh?
Yeah.
I had to rewatch it.
Even you guys went out of bounds too, though. Like you were still.
I was going for it.
You were still scrambling, and she stopped it like so.
I didn't stop though. Yeah. Neither did he. Like we know because we both have been doing a lot of ADCC stuff. We just keep going.
It was just stop.
You can't stop until there's a reason to stop, and there wasn't a reason to stop until he broke away from me.
Yeah.
It was a fun match though. I'm happy that I got to face him again, and it's cool to see his progression. As an older grappler myself now, I feel like I'm like an old dude.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see the young kids who are like 16, 17, 18.
That is really cool.
I want to see him.
You want to see the sport progress.
I would love to see him where he's at another 2 years. And it's also like a rate of progression because I feel like in 2 years I've gotten a lot better.
Yep.
And I don't think that he's surpassed me. You know what I mean? No. Like, so it wasn't like, fuck, dude, I couldn't stop him from getting to this or that.
It was one little exchange where you would have won the match instead of lost.
We were going to go to overtime in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was, but to be more, again, I'm like critical of myself. I think I got lazy and complacent, thinking I could just wait it out.
I'm going to win it right here.
Digging on my leg, and I was just like holding it. I think I could have like spun and kicked out and started moving.
That's something I see all the time is these people like even like there's like 10 seconds left in the match and they just go, I'll just let the guy like heel hook me, and then it's like they get really hurt.
Yeah, I think a little bit of like I didn't want him to get that heel hook at all, and it was a toe hold like that turned into like a heel hook. It was like a toe hold grip.
Yep.
Like an outside position, outside ashi.
Yeah, it kind of turned into knee bar-ish kind of, right?
It turns into like a heel hook. It felt like like it was going right to my knee, and I don't like getting hurt, so I tap. I don't care.
You're a smart man.
I don't care if it's 5 seconds. I'm not gonna get hurt. Yeah. I'm not gonna limp to the overtime for nothing. I don't give a shit. Some people do, and I can respect it. I think I admire it in times, but
they wouldn't be here Sunday doing a podcast. Be ready to train.
And we went right to the open mat from the from the airport to the open mat.
We're ready.
I think that's the craziest part for me too about jiu-jitsu is like seeing like 15 and 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids having success at like the pro level.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's not very...
Well, especially at our weight.
Yeah.
So like me and Sergio being 60 kilograms, which is 132 pounds, I mean, it's not that,
not that rare right now.
So
right,
a 17-year-old can be 132 pounds.
Honestly,
they might not stay there, but,
In my bracket, I think like a 15-year-old kid. I remember seeing him on the ADCC thing, and he got posted for the New Jersey, the trials, the open there, and he got posted for the Chicago one, and he won the divisions, and I was like, damn. Like
he's a white belt?
Yeah, he's a teenager, but he competed in the white belt division because he bumped up because I think he just demolished everyone in the teen division. So I was like getting super nervous, and I was like, this is gonna be tough. And he ended up not placing, but
I mean that's been a lot of my matches lately, like in Chicago.
These young tough kids.
Yeah, I mean it is. Again, not to talk bad about anyone, but all the other black belts failed.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be mean. It's just the reality of it. It would be mean if it wasn't true, but the fact is they failed to beat these young kids.
We're not talking about you facing those other guys. We're talking about you facing those kids.
They lost against the kids. Yep. The black belts, there was a couple of them from Chicago area. They lost to these kids who were traveling from Florida, from New Mexico, like Kobe and this other kid, Odell.
I don't know the other
Odell's
kid's
last name. But they're tough kids, but they're just kids. They're like legitimately they can't drink, they can't drive. No. but they can do jiu-jitsu really well.
And they're really good.
But it's like that was my I got to face these kids, and it's like it is kind of like it's a lose-lose in a way. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, I don't mind. I'll face kids and I'll squeeze them as hard as I can.
Yep.
I have no, I mean, it's
I'm a win. I'm a win, baby.
It's a tournament. It's all good, but it's it's really cool to see. If that's what you mean, it's like impressive, right?
Yeah, very impressive. Yeah, because
I can't imagine having that type of a composure at that age. Because I know I competed at that age, wrestling.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine wrestling like looking at me. Like, and I'm not saying I'm not scary looking, but I got facial hair and I got tattoos. I didn't wrestle anyone facial hair and tattoos when I was 13.
No, that's a man.
It's not much of one, but it's a man.
It's completely different. Like I said, that was the craziest part for me. And like I remember that I was super nervous for that kid, and I was like, this kid. Yeah, I think he got heel hooked his first match, and I was like, oh, like this kid's.
Yeah, they're nothing special.
Yeah, it's nothing crazy. So that's when my nerves started to settle in. So again, like I'm very much like analytical person.
Well, you can't. You can't. You really can't make judgments based on who gets posted or not posted on Instagram, right? I mean, like they do push people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, again, to talk about people, but like Junie was like the man. All they did was everything was about Junie at 60 kilograms. And then I beat Junie in Austin, or where was it? In Dallas.
Dallas. And it's still kind of about Junie.
Yeah, they still talk about Junie, right? And Junie's great. It's because he is good. He is really, really good. But it's like, that doesn't mean he's invincible.
Yeah.
Or, anyone, like Kyle was talking about with like coaches.
Yep.
As a coach, if your teams are going to face someone who's supposed to be really good, you can go in it in two ways. Either like, just go do your best, see what happens, rough, or you could beat them.
Yep.
Like you could beat anyone. No one's name means anything, because it's just a match, right? It's just some people are really good.
Some people are really good, and some people are always really good. Like every single time they go out there,
there'll always be a tough match. And there's people who you've never heard of in your life. And you're gonna be like, well, this is probably an easy match, and then you go and wrestle them, and if they're just
a problem,
just a problem. And I've been seeing those people a lot.
Yeah.
Update on Spider Kid. He was there.
How did he do? I saw him win the first one.
He did good. I think he took third. No, he didn't take third. He lost.
Yeah.
For third. Or he got heel hooked. He got heel hooked by Andrew DeGraff.
Okay.
I think he got hurt.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I think he went for the wrestle.
He didn't get third though.
No, I think he lost to the guy that you beat in the second match.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then that guy
I can
lost
see him losing to the Italian.
Match.
Yeah. I mean, he's a tough kid too, though. Yeah. So he's really young. I think he's only 16 too.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So let's get to you though. So I took second, which is a bummer. I wanted that first place.
Yeah, I knew you'd be upset.
And I should have gotten it. It was a possibility. Because sometimes it just feels like insurmountable task, but it was right there.
Yeah.
Like falls out of the hands. Like me and Jay both just like had it, but like falls out.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you need maybe the good Lord's giving you a little extra motivation.
Praise be He.
Praise Allah. Just kidding.
So let's get into your matches.
All right. So my matches. So yeah, I didn't go till mean, I think like 8:30,
So you're
9
still
at
tired?
night.
Yeah.
Yeah, still just, but I did get a good warm up in of
I'm
stuff.
so tired right now, guys. If you're watching me, I'm gonna lay down while
Yeah,
I'm talking.
I'm a tired boy. I'm actually falling asleep as we're doing the cast here. But okay, so
Don't mind me. I'm laying on the couch.
so
while
my
I'm
first match, I looked the kid up a
talking.
little
It's the only
bit.
way. Can you see me still, Jay?
I think it should just be on Joey, to be honest.
Yeah.
Zoom in on this.
So the first kid I went against, 19-year-old, doing a lot of like super fights and stuff in the area, purple belt.
You knew him?
I just looked him up a little bit. Yeah, I just tried to see his social
You
media and
stalked
stuff.
him?
I tried to find him. Got to see your training.
You know where he
against.
lives?
No, I don't. Yeah, I'll check that out next.
Not yet.
Yeah, I'll be at his house tomorrow. So I went out there with him. I pulled guard. Got him in 50-50 right away. Actually, I got him in double outside first. And I pulled his leg over to 50-50, and once I got him in 50-50, I got him in heel hook pretty easily. Popped his ankle pretty good.
I remember telling us talking before, like well before the match.
Yep.
Game plan wise for you was like to try to relax.
Yeah.
The first 3 minutes.
Yep.
And like because I think a lot of his obviously you're so good at leg locks and everyone kind of knows it a little bit and you show it right away. So you jump out and you're trying to like chase people down almost and like grip. And you're running into that problem sometimes where you can't finish people's leg locks as easily as you used to.
Yep.
And I think it's because you're so like anxious for it.
Gonna
like,
go get him, yeah.
Go. And now you just kind of like sat down, relax, and it was easy for you to get to it.
Super smooth. Yeah,
So
that
like
was really
it was
nice.
exactly what we said. It worked out really well.
Well, and that was a funny one where too, like what you said about your match about not wanting to hurt the person.
Mm-hmm.
I cracked his ankle. I could see the like shocked look on his face. So then I just stopped and held it, and then he tapped. Right. And like that's
Gave
something
him a
where like
chance.
the ref, kind of should have stepped in when I was cracking his ankle, but he didn't tap either. So it's like,
it's on him.
Yep.
I think at the pro level, like at the expert, divisions, they have to admit the
Defeat,
tap.
yeah.
It's like you can't stop. You can't step in.
Yep.
I think you should do that for the Emmys, for the beginners,
like
to save themselves.
Honestly, like how that one ref at the match with Taylor, right? He came in and grabbed her arm
that
like
was
a
smart.
Kimura.
I
and-
love that. I thought
yeah.
that ref was the best ref there.
It was really cool.
I felt like there was like a real tournament going on the real mats, and then we were off on the
side,
outside
Yeah.
mats
Yeah.
with the B squad.
with the bodybuilders.
Yeah, those were so.
Yeah.
Those mats were just terrible and small. And it was
Yeah.
just like it's such a
Sorry.
weird setup. You're right by like the award area, so it's like
It
super,
was super cramped.
super cramped in there. Yeah, it was.
So we had some complaints.
Yeah.
But-
Okay. So then I had my second match.
Anyways,
Well, we won't complain.
Yeah, well, we complain a little bit, but so my second match against this guy, I've actually competed against him in Dallas, and
This guy's really tough.
yeah, he trains at New Wave, with Donaher and them, and when I went against him in Dallas, he pulled guard, and we had a little bit of exchange, and I heel hooked him pretty quick, and then afterwards he told me he's like, I popped my rib.
was,
a
like,
few
making
weeks ago.
excuses.
And then I know the match before he did some crazy whirlwind match, and he's like, my rib kind of popped that again. So he was a little compromised when I beat him in Dallas.
That was in your head. Like you were like, man, I want to face him when he's fresh.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I wanted
no excuse.
More like this for me. Like I don't want it to be in his head that he's like,
This is
if
why
I
I
was
lost.
healthy, I could have beat him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care about me too much, but I just don't want him to think, that, yeah. So, and he was definitely, it seemed like he wasn't just making that up. He felt much stronger, really
felt
aggressive.
stronger? Yeah.
Really aggressive passing, trying to go side to side on me, but he's just not going to pass my guard unless he really got something
Yeah,
going.
Kyle has a really difficult guard to pass for anyone who has ever trained with him.
Just very
Sure,
comfortable inverting, and like it's going to be very hard to get into north-south position on me. So
what it makes it hard is like, you can do it, but the risk you take. So like once you overcommit your arms, you can get really easily armbarred, easy kimuras.
yeah. So then what happened was like right as points started, he made an aggressive. He tried to go like underpass on one of my legs, and then I threw up a triangle on him, and he backed out of the triangle, and then I went belly down armbar on him. I had a real nice
So that's,
armbar
I
on
mean,
him.
that's the more you try to pass your guard, the more threat there is.
Yep.
So it's a very tough, tricky situation I've been dealing with
Yeah.
for years with you.
Yeah.
How to pass the guard without getting submitted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a little our size different makes it a little.
I'll pass your guard.
You definitely do, Joe.
Goddamn
You definitely do. Yeah. So then my third match, I went against Jordan Holy, who, like we had said, he'd beat me twice previous. And Joey gave me a good, motivational thing about, just a new match against a new guy. But then he kind of smothered me, passed my guard, and he arm
He had
triangled
some
me.
really impressive guard passing that I enjoyed to actually watch. I
Yeah,
thought
his
it was
float
really-
passing was really
Really
from a
impressive.
very tight position.
Yeah,
Float passing,
which is what I to just why I'm talking smack for fun. It's like that's what I like to do. That's what I want to do more with you.
Yep.
So you get that pressure, which is hard for you to feel from someone because either it's a technical deficiency or a physical deficiency. So like for me, I'm not as heavy as you, but I can technically do those types of passes to you.
You might
get that like pinching like lock on you and then try to pass, floating pass.
Yep.
And you recover well, you know.
But then that in time like recovering well. So like he tried it twice, and the second time he passed. But the first time he did, I
did well,
fought him. But like but
it was persistence.
My shoulder and neck on that first one like cracked. He was just squeezing me so hard. He's a strong boy.
He said he used to be bigger.
Yeah, I remember we competed at the first Midwest Finishers. I had won my first match, and I went against him the second match, and I pulled guard. I remember when he grabbed me, just put his hands on me, and I was like, "Oh, this is a problem." Yeah. I should have went down a division. Yeah, But that's gonna happen. We've talked about it before. Like, if you're gonna lose, I would like it to be to the best guys.
Yeah.
Wholly won the whole tournament. And the two guys I lost to in Chicago, they were first and second at this last one. So
you're right
you don't want
to.
Yeah, you don't want to say you're good because you're losing to people, but I'm not losing to bad people.
And at the same time, that's the goal. So you're never going to be able to beat the best guys in the world if you don't get to face them.
Yeah.
And if you're going to face them, you're going to lose a few times the first year. You're going to have to learn.
And you got to earn your spots to face them, which I've been doing. Yeah.
Which you've consistently done.
So then I had a crazy break again. Crazy amount of time to break.
Yeah.
2 hours, right?
Yeah. And so
now it's like midnight.
Yeah.
11.
I mean, something like 11 something. And both the guys I beat in the normal tournament would have been my next matches for the third place bracket, and both of those guys dropped out. I think
the second got hurt.
I think the second, the first kid I really messed up his ankle. The second kid, they were having a lot of trouble with the bracket, so we kind of don't know. But so then I'm I'm in the match before the third place match.
Right. So one more. If Kyle wins this match, he goes to third place, which we'll say you've never been able to place.
I haven't medaled at one of these yet.
This is the big goal.
Yeah, this is the big goal. So.
This was the one. I mean, I was like, this is the one.
This was the one, and
winnable match, dude.
And man, I had him twice.
I caught him
in the Tarica Plata, real good. And
the Lake Kimura.
I had him real good, and he locked his hands. I just couldn't get the finishing pressure. And then
he got his hands together, which it's funny because this is I talked to you about
how to deal with it,
the difficulties I have with it, and you gave me a good solution for when they put their hand on the thigh.
Yeah.
Which is what you do. You don't usually bring your hands together.
No, I put my hands and I try to straighten my arms out.
Yeah, but with one arm, right? You do it with your leg and like boom, and then you bend it. But he locked his hands together. We should watch it and look at it again.
There was a point too where I had trouble getting back up on my feet.
You couldn't rebend his arm.
Yeah, and then I had another really nice Kimura trap sequence where I almost took his back.
The back crucifix.
And I like the way I was trying to take his back. I do that a lot.
I wish you would have got a better hook.
I couldn't. I didn't conceptualize what you're saying till almost that night. I remember the technique that we'd been drilling. I saw it completely afterwards. Yeah. So
but I don't think what you were doing was wrong because it could have worked really well. I just think it would have been
so close a couple times. Yeah. Really, really close. Yeah.
But he was using his forearm to stop you from building up around his head.
Okay.
And there was nothing blocking his leg, and you could have got that near side hook.
Yep.
And then you could have got I just think it would have been the smarter route.
Yeah. So then, that whole match had been me doing well. He hadn't really done much to me. The whole match had been me doing. And then after that exchange, he passed my guard and took my back. I'll be honest, I kind of wilted a little bit.
Yeah.
I even after I lost his back, I think I even audibly went God damn it, when I lost his back.
And it's so at that last little sprint of you getting close.
Yep.
When you're almost there to win. That's you just shut down. Your eyes shut down.
You know what? Also, too,
I mean, you just locked up. But I will also say that you didn't give up.
I wasn't gonna let. Yeah.
As much as you were giving up, you're saying wilted.
Yeah.
You didn't give up because you still.
I wasn't gonna let him choke me.
You weren't just okay, finish. Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say honestly, it kind of goes to the one thing you said about that match with Taylor, where just a bunch of stuff happened and she wanted a break for a second. I had this nice Kimura track sequence, and then we were back in my guard, and I just wanted a second to, and then he passed my guard.
Which that's what I'm learning for myself too, is because I want those moments too. I think everyone does. Anyone who's really does jiu-jitsu, that's what the point of it is. You want it to be easy, but it's never. And we're not just doing jiu-jitsu. You're competing.
Yep.
There's a fight to it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sergio understands. There's been matches when it's you want it to just calm down, but that's when it picks up.
And that's an interesting thing.
Kilograms. I feel like it's
everyone's fast.
Yeah, everyone's go, and I'm oh my gosh, I need to take a break.
I want to slow it down.
So that's a funny thing. I remember telling everybody in like my purple belt days, that was one of my skills.
Was slow people down.
I would be able to make people play the game I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if it was
that's
purple
'cause
belt
they
level.
weren't- yeah.
Yeah. And not, this
like,
black
'cause
belt
the
level.
game you want to play is that kind of guard game, and like so you can pull someone into it. But then the best guys, no one's just sitting there playing your guard.
Yeah, that guy didn't get my guard like the whole. Yeah, he was not even on his knees at all.
Yeah, which it's everyone's different style, but yeah, I think it's definitely a case of us being able to have that physical edge.
Yeah,
which I talked about that for myself, mostly for the after East Coast trials.
Yeah,
is I want to physically like be so confident.
Yeah,
and we took a couple steps towards it with all of our conditioning. Me and Sergio and Jay and Taylor were doing it. Kyle, not so much. I think he had one chance and he didn't come.
I couldn't make.
Shoot. But the conditioning I think paid off huge for myself. I felt it. Sergio, I think
for sure.
And then Jay, I think was the biggest noticeable increase because Jay had some cardio issues his last tournament. He did great, took first place, did awesome, but you got really tired, right? And I think just doing a few extra conditioning sessions, like two more a week,
made a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
He didn't. I mean, those are way harder matches, bigger guys, harder matches, more pressure, and like fatigue level was not even nearly as high as it was last tournament.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I think these are things that we got to implement more, and just to do a tummy update.
Oh man, still puking.
It's a tummy update.
Yeah, it's still puking.
We did not tackle that, but that was a big goal too, right? We said that before.
I would say is a thing. I think we did.
We made progress.
We found some good solutions. I ate a big meal in the morning.
Breakfast.
Yeah, breakfast was a big one.
Because in the past, you would not eat breakfast at all. Like I think you had an apple once, like a little granola bar, and that was like it for the entire 12 hours of like grappling.
Yeah, and imagine. And imagine if I would have done that yesterday, I would have died.
I think you'd be dead.
So
we would not be doing the podcast. You'd be in the hospital.
We'd be
So we went to a beautiful breakfast. Talk about the breakfast. I like
amazing.
How good was that breakfast?
Really
guys?
And you and me got simple breakfast.
Simple.
Yeah,
I got the traditional.
Yep.
Got some eggs and some
toast.
taters.
Tater toast. I had eggs, a waffle, and bacon.
And I'll say that waffle, that might have been the best waffle I ever had in my life.
Dude, I'm not I told you, I'm not a fan of like big fruit stuff like that. Like the blueberry on there, it's
good.
Phenomenal.
I think that waffle might have been baked in a buttery flaky crust.
Buttery flaky crust.
On a buttery crust.
Buttery flaky crust. What is it?
Retake. Look that one up.
If you don't know what we're talking about, look it up. It's funny.
Awesome. So that was our performances for people within the gym.
Giuseppe is in the gym, man. Giuseppe, no matter what, I don't care wherever Giuseppe goes, he's like a teammate now.
Well, I mean, I would say
I love Giuseppe.
Giuseppe is our like road dog for competing. He's gonna be with us when we compete.
No matter what, and so the whole long night thing. He said it multiple times. Like, you guys can go. You don't have to stay here. I was like, no way. Mm-hmm. I love it, man. Yep. Like, we're there. Jay was so into it. I could tell Jay was like still looking around like, this is fun. Because it's like midnight just to see how crazy this stuff is.
Got his tripod going. He's filming everything. Yeah, it was awesome.
We're sprinting from one mat to the other. They kept throwing.
I'm in the corner puking.
Kyle's puking. Kyle's in the corner puking his guts out. All because you want to save a few pennies. I mean, I don't, but
movie quote. Let us know.
Good luck. I think it's just really fun to have that energy, and Giuseppe brings a very unique energy, very different from you and I.
He's passionate.
So you and I were talking about like, and it's just the way we are. So personalities, like I am like smiling, laughing, having fun during the matches. It's what I like, and Giuseppe's like all business.
He's mean.
Yeah, and like we're touching on that idea. Like I think we need a little bit of what he's got. He needs a little bit of what we got, and I think we can all kind of blend and help each other out with that. But yeah, like he's intense. And I love it. Like I
love watching him compete, man. It's always fun.
He's intense. It's cool. But he had an awesome run, good matches. I don't know, if you remember his first couple matches.
I coached his first match, but then I was competing a lot when he was going.
Yeah, we have some videos of him. I got to go back and rewatch him. But he made a huge implemented a huge element to his game that me and him just sat and talked about for a few hours after the East Coast trials, which was the guard passing.
Yep.
And it's a newer thing to him, and you can tell he's a little taller and longer, and it can be hard, but he's getting this outside passing game going really well. And then when it was failing because of the entries and the leg locks, he would counter leg lock, and he would like catch the person, and, like make them respect it and pull back.
Yep.
So it was cool to see like direct. Again, it's only 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks from East Coast to today.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yesterday. Yeah, I mean it went by really quick.
It happened really fast. Yeah.
Yeah, and to see the technical changes.
That was good for me though too. I need to wash East Coast out of my mouth a little bit.
That's how you felt.
So, not really, but yeah, it's good to get something.
I mean, this was definitely. Let's go back to you for a moment. At college, your best performance by a mile.
I was performing good. Yeah. Felt good.
I mean, you've had good performances all the time, but it's like from start to finish, your best performance.
Yeah.
Because we go back to the beginning when we went to a few of those opens, you didn't get to finish. You had injuries or whatever it might be, and it's not fault of, it's just the way it goes.
Things that happen,
sucks, but now you've gone through the entire, all the way up to that one more match in third place. Like
we're there. We're making improvements.
Oh, huge improvements.
Yeah.
We got to keep working on your belly.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get this thing, settled and literally settled.
Settle my belly. Yeah.
Settle the tummy.
Tummy gate.
Tummy gate.
It's like those
Tummy gate.
dogs when they flip their
2023.
stomach. They're dead. Yeah, they're out of there.
Yeah. Does it kill them?
Yeah, if the dog's stomachs flip, they can try to reflip them,
Why
but
do
I think
they
it's
flip?
It's called bloat.
Is that what it's called?
Bloat.
Blob?
Bloat. Like BLOAT.
Like bloating?
So they bloat up and then their stomach flip.
So it's like if you feed your dog and like
I feel
it's
bloated
mainly
right now.
mainly in big dogs, right? So like my neighbor behind me, his dog was, I guess they fed it a bunch and it was running around and the stomach actually turned, which then cuts off circulation like the heart.
Oh.
Yeah, they get no blood flow through their whole body.
The dog
and then,
passed away from it.
Dude, we gotta you gotta keep your belly facing up.
Yeah, I think it's good. I don't think it happens to humans, but me being a dog,
Bigger dogs. Bigger dogs.
Damn, that's scary.
I'm a medium-sized dog. I'm a greyhound.
Yeah.
I
more
would
of a
say
pit bull.
You're more of a, I don't know. You're definitely a greyhound. Are those the skinny ones?
Yeah. Oh.
Right now you are. I mean, it's scary, man. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm scared of how sick you look.
That was my first time experiencing tummy gate, and it was not
Tummy gate.
Tummy gate's a real thing, man.
dude. It's what it's
I don't know
called
why
now.
you're laughing. It's tummy
That's
gate.
great.
It's tummy
man.
gate.
Yeah.
Dude, it was scary. Like I was like, oh cool, is Kyle throwing up in the
Yeah,
corner?
it's like I'm used to it, so I try.
Yeah,
to I try to calm them down. I was like, it's okay.
He would come over and he'd be like, "You good?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." And then he goes right back to it, and then back to it. I'm like, when is this gonna end? I was like,
Eventually,
dude,
eventually.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, but like this, it's just the length too. Like I don't want you to, it's one thing. There's nothing wrong with puking and then like getting back in there.
Yep.
I mean, there is. It probably shouldn't do that, but if you can do that and manage that, but like it's just that there's no reason for you to be sick.
Yeah.
Right? Like we all agree there's no bacteria, there's no infection, there's no reason for you to be sick. How do you stay sick? There's got to be an answer, right? There's got to be something. Doctors, help us.
Help me out, doc.
Well, maybe you got to go to a doctor.
Yeah, thank you, doctor. Like, you give me a COVID shot?
I mean a vet.
A vet? Yeah.
You take dead animals to the zoo, take you to the zoo.
Take me to the zoo. That's how they have to weigh me in every day.
Well, tummy gate, we're gonna keep it rolling.
We're making progress.
It's gonna be
yeah.
I think we're gonna make some corrections.
I will say it was Taylor gave me 2 Pepto-Bismol pills.
Good, bad.
Well, so one of them I puked up like right away, and then
you like this moment you saw it?
like pretty quickly it came out. But then I was like I think that was only one that came out. And then when we were just leaving at the airport, I puked in the sink again, and just the tiniest little flake of a Pepto-Bismol came out, and I was like, oh, that one actually stayed down. Good.
Yeah, because I want to say you had the pill, and then like not even like 50 feet later, you were in that trash can.
Yeah.
Like,
But I watched him walk, and he's just sticking his fingers down his throat. He's like, I'm like, stop making yourself do. He's like, I got to.
It's like, oh, my stomach is just going nuts, dude. I can't even describe how it feels, man.
I
Yeah,
can't
my body's
describe
just
it either.
freaking out. Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
So I really want to get this settled. I think there was progress,
Yep.
but then it's the length of the
Event.
the
Yeah.
event. It's not good, because that's like fucking traumatic for you. You know what I mean? That's
I've been
traumatic.
traumatized many times in my life, Joe. I'm dealing with it.
can't be good for your body.
It's all
It
good.
cannot be good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was funny. We went out to eat not too long, right before the podcast, and he's like, I'm eating like 3,000 calories. And I've been gaining weight. I was like, well, you lost everything.
Everything I gained is
Everything
gone.
you gained.
You
Yeah.
almost made weight again.
Yeah. I went on the scale, it was 157.
Jesus.
With his sweatpants and t-shirt.
That's not good.
Yeah.
It's
Well, maybe I'm 145.
Yeah, I know. Tummy gate.
That'll probably help with my stomach.
Tummy gate.
Yeah.
I like tummy gate.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fun.
Honestly,
Hashtag-
of this
hashtag
podcast for me so
tummy
far.
Maybe it's from me cutting to 45 so many times. I can't imagine. You cut me way lower than me.
I mean,
You
I
know?
cut to 115.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
115. What was
Yeah.
that?
When?
Yeah.
Last time was probably like 2016.
I think Joey's the only American 115 champ.
Yeah, I'm 5-0 at 115.
Joey's the number one ranked American.
Number one ranked. I was ranked 8th in the world. There was only 7 Asians in front of me. Seriously, they're all Japanese, most of them.
Yep.
There's only one Brazilian.
The smaller people, yeah.
This was back in 2013 to 2016, 2015. I moved back.
How'd you win that fight?
The last one?
Yeah, no, the title fight that you won.
Yeah, that was a XFO event.
Get the big gold belt.
Yeah, I got a big gold belt. It was really fun. That was a really fun night. It was me, Corey Galloway fought, Vince Wadman fought. Rory Markham was on our team. Do you remember Rory Markham?
And just KO'd some guy viciously.
It was brutal.
That wasn't fair.
It was not fair, but it was okay. It was fun.
Yeah.
We had a few people.
Did you all win?
Everyone won.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good event. Yeah, me and Corey had a great time. Corey Galloway, who we talked about in the last podcast.
We'll have to have him on next time he's out here.
He was out in town. He's gonna be here. He's gonna be back soon, so we're gonna throw him on the podcast. So many legendary tales, which remind me of how much fun I had this weekend.
Good.
Me and Corey were like that. Only there was more alcohol back then.
Okay. We're not really alcohol people.
I don't drink anymore.
Yeah,
I don't have it in me.
Yeah.
But maybe if Corey was around, I might have to.
You might have to take a shot or two.
Yeah, just with Corey, it's just something about it. Corey just loves to drink.
Corey gets
it's
you
like
going?
hard to say no to that man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He's a good
Is that person
dude.
your
Shout out
favorite?
Corey Galloway.
God, I love him. That man could drink beers. His family could drink some beers.
Yeah, they put him down?
The Galloway clan is known
Really?
for just pounding beers.
Case racing?
His mom, his dad, they all can put him down.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. Their family's so funny.
That's sweet.
But yeah, but this weekend was that. I really want to say how much fun I had.
I almost can't even put it into words.
I legitimately had. I was. If we would have just left before the tournament, I still would have been like, that was a pretty good trip. Like, I had fun.
We spent that whole first night crying, laughing.
Yeah.
Very appropriate jokes for the crowd of people.
No jokes that were inappropriate at all were made. It was all just PG.
Yep.
PG.
We did some fucking bitchy Midwestern bitches try to fucking talk shit to us. I had to put them right in their place.
Let's start with that little. What the hell was that? So
we were just sitting there at the table, and
some
these
lady sits next to us,
and these two ladies next to us just turn to us and go, "Where are you from?" And I go, "Chicago," and she goes, "No, where are you from?" And I go, "What happened to Midwestern hospitality?"
She's like, "I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
Where are you from?"
Yeah, I'm from.
Right?
Get away from me. Yeah,
yeah. It was not polite.
Yeah,
which it's like the southern thing. Like I think Florida people, for the most part, everyone seems pretty nice.
Yeah,
they're a little
chilling.
slow.
They're chilling.
Yeah, everyone's just chilling. Do you remember our Canadian friend?
Yeah, he was awesome.
So we had an older gentleman.
You mean our Rhode Island friend?
Yeah, I said Rhode Island. So it's pretty cool. It's like he's this old man. He just pretty much just walked around with a chair connected to his butt, and just came and sat next to us because he was playing with all women for his
trivia game.
Yep. And we were kicking ass, and we were like having a good time.
Yep.
What was it? The Mockingbird? Was that a song part?
Oh my God! Yeah,
I feel like there's so many memories.
We did the it worked out perfectly. We did the exact scene from Dumb and Dumber where Jay did the mock, and we all
I screamed mock and looked at everyone, and everyone's head perked up, looked at me and screamed yeah, and then the entire crowd lost it. Yeah. So I feel like we won everyone over. Yeah. But my point is that Canadian man, he loved us. He came up to us, sat down with his chair connected to him, and just started chatting away.
He just wanted to hang out.
He's like, these ladies are gonna be mad at me, but I don't care. You guys are awesome.
You guys are cool.
He was a cool dude. I just felt like that whole first day was just like a blast.
Yeah. Sonia at the front desk, she was pretty cool.
Sonia, oh yeah, she loved us.
Yeah, she was
without
cool.
a doubt. Sonia was digging on the vibe. You know what I mean? We came in there, we're like, hey, do you guys have a gym?
Yeah.
Which way?
Can you see my guns here?
I need to feed the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we really just wanted the sauna, but
I don't think we touched the weight.
Yeah.
I did a couple curls. We had a curls for the girls.
Yeah. So Sonia was cool. What was our we had a piano player. So we went from trivia to then like a
yeah. So we had Maggie who we did trivia with, and then Kyra came up and did song requests.
Music night.
A music night, but it was like I guess a pianist.
Yeah,
right?
she was just playing the keyboard and taking song
like
requests.
a solo, what's it called when you do like covers?
Yeah,
she was like a
cover
cover
artist,
band, a cover artist. So she didn't do original music. She was just like, hey, what do you want me to play?
And I made
I love.
I made her play the Lion King song.
Yeah, that was like our first request. I felt like I had some good requests.
Yeah,
I was throwing out some good ones. I did like Billy Joel, Piano Man. I had her do Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep. She didn't want to.
She didn't want to. We had to pay her.
Yep.
She was like, "I'll do it for some dead presidents." I was like,
Me and George started whipping money out of our pockets. Yeah.
George Washington.
Yep.
That's a single.
Yep. I gave her a little bit of Abraham Lincoln.
It was 5.
Yeah, it's 5 or 8.
Yeah. No Hamiltons over here.
We're spending out here. We're spending.
Benjamins. What are those, hundreds?
Hundreds. Yeah, we putting those Jacksons out there easier.
Jackson
20s.
what?
Yeah, 20s.
Oh, I am not giving a 20 for that.
No.
She's good.
She's
She's
good.
no Jackson.
Yeah, cute as a button.
Cute as a button, as
Cute as a
someone
button.
said.
Yeah.
All the old ladies. Remember? Oh, what was the third ranked?
Dana.
Oh, my
Dana
God.
was the
Dana
number
was
3.
a third-ranked Pennsylvania real estate.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah,
I remember
third-
that vividly because they were like all cheering for
From
her, started doing
Pennsylvania.
karaoke. She was living it,
and
dude.
you know, this is not to body shame, but she was a plus size woman.
She was a bigger lady.
She was not just big; she was large.
She sang big.
She sang big. She lived big.
What was the song she sang?
She would never smiled either.
Nope.
But she was in a great mood.
She just marched up there
It's
and
funny
started
how, like,
belting.
It doesn't matter if you're smiling. I just tell she was loving life.
Yep.
She sang "I Will Survive"
Yes.
more than once.
Yes.
And she did a duet later, right?
Yeah,
Of
she
that
did.
same song?
She did a.
But the dude
Grease.
really couldn't sing. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't very good, but I didn't want to make him feel bad, so
I
we
did.
still cheered for him. Yeah, we had a good time, man. I feel like, those types of moments, like memories, like that's what the trip should be. Of course, competing. There's some people who probably take themselves too serious and don't get to enjoy themselves. I want to still have fun.
Giuseppe.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's have fun, dude.
Yeah, and I'm sure he has fun. Like
I think he does. So I'm just messing with him.
does,
Yeah.
But like, maybe too. Like maybe hopefully he enjoys those types of trips.
Yeah.
And he finds a way to enjoy it. Like for me, that was it. That's all I needed.
Yep.
I had a blast, and I also really wanted to go into the pool.
Yeah.
And I
we
made
did.
time to go to the pool.
Yep.
Even while we're cutting weight, I was like, I'm gonna go to the pool.
In the middle of us cutting weight, yeah, we went
I
out.
was like, I'm gonna go check out the pool, and no one else wanted to go in, and I was like, come on, let's get in the pool. And I had like dragged Taylor and Jay, and Jay loved it. Jay even said, we're like, hey, what was your favorite memory? And he's like, the volleyball in the pool.
Yep.
I was like, not the tournament.
Not the jiu-jitsu we did.
No, we had a blast. We played every game there was to play there.
We played pool. We played ping pong.
Yeah,
then
which I'll say, Sergio
ping-
is actually a professional ping pong player.
Are you good at ping pong?
He
I'm
smashed
not
it.
good at jiu-jitsu, but I'm good at ping pong, I guess.
Okay. I know a couple people that
crushed both
challenge
of
you.
us.
Okay.
It wasn't even
not.
close.
It wasn't close.
I'm bad.
I had
at ping pong.
I had a moment where we were 11-11.
Yeah,
And then you ran
yeah.
away with it.
I eased up on you, Joe.
I know, well, no, you started light, and then you ran away with it.
I picked it up.
He gave me a chance.
You try to make it a
And the
fair
old
game.
lady yelled
I
at
like for a
Joey
moment-
to
Oh,
figure
yeah.
out where the ball was.
Oh yeah, she was a brat. She was yelling at Jay, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were brats. There was some old lady. Like as soon as we came up, the old lady was like, "How long are you gonna be?"
We
was like,
didn't-
47
I was like,
minutes.
As long
just
as the
picked up the
game
paddle.
started.
Dude. We just picked up the paddle. And she's like,
Wait.
how long are you going to be? And I was like,
I was like, lucky for them, we're not very good.
I didn't even serve yet, lady.
So they're just standing there looking at us. So as soon as we're done, the old man's like, "Hey, where's the ball?" It's like where it's supposed to be.
Sir.
Look underneath the table. Yeah. So maybe Florida people aren't that nice actually.
I think anywhere you go, people can be rude, right? You always
And
say,
nice.
Yeah.
Right?
So.
Just the way she came off about it.
But actually, what was funny was it was the Canadian thing. That's what I forgot to say. It was like Kyle made the joke of like, "Oh, sorry." Like Kyle said that, right? Like,
Yep, I said the
like
last
Doug,
time.
You're like Doug could probably just move there and be like,
Oh, sorry.
And
Oh.
legitimately, that's exactly what the guy came up. And why did he say
we
sorry?
could
I
not.
forget.
I don't know. But we could not stop laughing.
Dude,
He
I
was
just
like,
looked at-
sorry,
he was
sorry.
like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Well, then
And
the-
it was exactly
The
Kyle.
really
It was
funny
like they were
part was
messing with us.
the last time Doug was. We were talking about Doug not being here. I made the dumb joke. The worst thing about Canada is the Canadians. And so the guy came down and he said to us, I'm from Rhode Island, but I moved to Canada. And so then my brain went like, oh, perfect opportunity to make that joke. And then the next line out of his mouth was, my parents are from Canada. And I was like,
My
good thing I didn't
parents are
say that.
Canadian. Yeah, he might not have liked it, or I think he would have loved.
He
it.
wouldn't have
He was
cared,
cool.
yeah.
he was cool.
He
Dude.
was down to clown.
Yeah.
Food was good there. A nice shrimp tacos.
I didn't love him, but
No.
I loved our Italian food. I loved our breakfast.
That was good.
And I feel like when we went out for food, it was great.
Yeah.
Which again, that's another big part of it. If I'm going to travel, I'm going to go get some good food.
We were a little underdressed for that Italian restaurant.
A little bit. We got some
little bit.
looks.
We got some looks.
They were kind of rude.
But let me tell you, I dressed to be looked at.
Yeah, I want to be looked
Yep.
at. There's a reason why I'm dressed this way.
I don't put these sweatpants on for no reason.
Ladies, look at these
Hey,
sweatpants.
Look at this.
Gray sweatpants for you.
That's my style.
No, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if I'm gonna travel, two things. I think from now on we need to find good hotels, better hotels.
100%.
Because we've skimped on it before. And
Costco travel.
Costco travel is going to be our new thing, maybe.
Cool.
Nah, probably not.
Hey,
I don't know anything about Costco.
That's what I'm here for.
I mean, but you better come on these trips then.
we'll just have to set them up for
I
us.
can help you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, you can just
But-
set it up for us. We'll
No, you
give
got to
them
go.
money.
I would love to travel every time we go to
So
the ADCC.
wait, so is there anything else about the trip? Any last thoughts? Closing remarks? Jay, do you want to say anything? Come on in. Jay's right over there. Everyone knows you.
Come join us, man.
Anything you want to say about the trip? Any thoughts about your tournament? Let's finish up with that. And then I want to finish with a little bit of, about Sergio's
nice and
job
warm.
and stuff.
I like it.
Nice and warm over here.
Yeah. Are you cold over there?
A little bit, a little chilly.
Jay was behind the camera.
Yeah, I was almost dozing off a little bit too.
So Jay,
No,
Jay, and
Jay,
we'll say
you
this.
weren't just dozing off. You were asleep.
Did I fall asleep? Did
I
fall
looked
asleep?
over numerous times to see it on the camera, and I just see Jay just
Eyes open.
We'll
just
say
out.
this.
I think your laugh woke me up. Like, fucking doing something here.
I'm a little loud
We'll say
sometimes.
this, Jay. It's like you stayed up like us, all night,
yes.
but you're not as young as us.
No, I'm not.
This is not to hurt your
What is
feelings.
going on here? Like, what am I doing?
I mean, like-
why did I agree to stay up all night?
Like
My
we
question
partied
myself.
hard, I mean, we didn't drink, we didn't do anything bad, but like I feel like hungover. I feel like a young
A
man.
little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's fun.
It was fun.
I hope you had fun, Jay.
A blast. I mean, the whole experience, and we kind of touched on it a little bit when we were at the karaoke and all that. We were the only table with no alcohol.
Yeah.
Everybody else was drinking, but we were like having the most fun.
The
We were
loudest.
the life of the party. Like we were loving it. We were soaking it up.
Every group of people talking right now, there were these assholes. They ruined karaoke night.
but we were getting looks when what was the lady that was playing the piano?
Kyra.
Kyra.
When she was setting up, there was a group in the corner, and I don't know if you guys noticed because I didn't really say or talk about it too much, but I kept looking over at them because the angle where I was sitting, I saw them, and the man was just sitting there with his wife,
Looking at us?
Yep, his arms are crossed, and he's just giving us stares. And
That's
he's
how unaware
talking
me
to
and
us.
Kyle are.
Because it was you two that were having this conversation
Let me
and just
tell-
loving life, right? And you were just laughing. She's setting up. She's not going yet, so we're not like intruding or being dicks. But like this man was just like so upset.
I love when my being upsets people.
Yeah.
Because I ain't
Literally
stopping it,
just
man. Yeah. That's
But
hilarious.
It is true. It's like some people just they really just want to like rain all over
Right,
like
yeah.
enjoyment.
Yeah.
I love seeing other people have fun.
But us
I
girls
would
just
say-
want to have fun.
Which was a song that Kyle sang.
Yeah. I would say though, towards the end, we won them over because
Yeah.
they started to like laugh.
I mean,
at
we're
it, like
funny.
They were getting into the vibe. Like,
And
okay,
and
yeah.
I said that too. I think Taylor was saying something like, "Oh man, you guys are like, it was a lot," but I think she agreed. It's like, but it's all with like very good intentions.
Yeah, of
there's
course.
no
It's
way
fun, of
we're
course,
we're
yeah.
never gonna be getting in a fight.
no.
Nope.
So if someone came up to us and was like, "You guys are being disrespectful," we'll be like, "Okay, all right,
Chillax,
we'll,
bro."
We'll probably just walk away from the whole
Yeah,
thing. and,
exactly.
Like, we'll be like, all right,
Way to ruin the night, bro.
Vibe,
Yeah.
we ruined the vibes. Let's go somewhere else.
Yep.
Like it's never ill intent. You know,
Right.
like everything's just to
Never
have
like
fun.
malicious towards anybody.
no.
If it is, it's towards one of us. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, we might say some inappropriate things, but it's all in good fun.
All in good fun, baby.
Yeah, it's all love. It's all love.
That's what bullies always say.
Yeah,
Your head's in the toilet because I love you.
I love you.
It's all good
This
fun.
is a joke.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
so I'm glad you had fun, Jay.
Oh, I had a blast.
You know, because like
Yeah.
these types of trips, this is your first time going with us on
Yep.
anything, right?
Yep, first road trip for a jiu-jitsu tournament.
I know we
with
don't
this
we don't
is-
get Taylor's perspective, but hopefully we'll throw in another cast.
Yeah, we'll recast her again.
Which by recasting, we recast her for different role,
Yeah.
different actress.
You are no longer Taylor. You are now Taylor.
Taylor.
Taylor, L-E-R.
Yeah, Taylor. I think she had a good time too, which
Yeah.
is cool. You know, we're a group of dudes,
Right,
And
yeah.
Taylor was just like fucking, just cracking jokes,
Uh-huh.
having fun.
Yep.
Which shout out to her.
Shout out
Respects,
Taylor.
Respects, because it's not easy.
No.
At one point, she was like, "I wish there was another girl that was cool."
Yeah, I could be a lot. I could be a lot to be
find
around.
somebody
Yeah.
that can come in
You
here. and
are
help
a
her
lot.
with-
Yeah, I could be a lot.
But I love it, man. Like I said, like even when it was just me and you, like we would have done the same thing. If it was just me and you, we would have just doing the same stupid jokes
Yep.
with no one else to laugh at us besides me, like laughing at you. Doing your British impersonations.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude.
Now that's the thing. If anyone can find us that clip just off that, I'm gonna be very impressed.
Do it one more time. Okay, do it one more time.
Don't be rude.
Tell me what that is. If anyone knows, hit me with it.
I'd be fuming.
Why?
I don't know.
If anyone knows what the hell he's talking about, please let me know.
Yeah, you got to comment in the next
because
cast.
we know. Yeah. But
That was
it's
all
funny.
weekend.
I don't know if we'll say anything else.
No, yeah, we can't let
that.
if we let the other ones out, they'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too much.
But yeah, we had a good time. That's what it was all about.
Yes.
Anything else about the tournament, Jay? You got a couple minutes with it.
Yeah. I agree with you on why the hell would they put any advance on those formats over in the corner. That was upsetting to me, even though I wasn't over there.
So you can spectate too. It's hard to watch.
Yeah,
right?
it was. It was. It was.
You're so
weird.
far too.
But what I would say, like the overall, just the team camaraderie that we had and the spirits that we were like just feed off the energy of one another. I think that right in and of itself is why spending from what time we got there, like noon maybe, and didn't get out of the building until 1 o'clock because we were lost for a little bit in the building. As we were walking, we ran into a robot.
Oh yeah, I almost got in a
robot.
fight with a
my
security
God,
robot.
It was
Did you see
talking
that?
shit. I saw it was talking shit.
I know you were a little sick, but I came up to it and
it's like
I gave it a fist and it went beep beep
Yeah,
beep,
it, like,
and I
looked
backed
at
away
you.
and it like turned back and then
and it just like walked away.
Yeah, security robot.
But it didn't seem like that we were there that long. But it was just fun because like the energy that we were giving each other. I feel like that part in and of itself.
And that's what I've always
Yeah,
wanted.
I do agree with that. Yeah,
And me and
Random
Kyle
dance
talked
battles.
about that a little bit. Is like me and Kyle, we've always wanted that. Didn't always feel like we've had that when it came to jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
You know, you had it with football, you had it, you know, I've had it with like MMA things and like with like Corey and stuff like that. But to build it with a jiu-jitsu school, it's, you know, we never really had it like that.
Yeah.
So I'm proud. I'm glad that it's happening.
right. It's very special.
So thank you
it's
guys
very
for being
tough
on
to
the
explain
ground
to somebody
floor.
who doesn't
Yeah, of the team
experience it.
coming together.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, because like you said, you guys were saying earlier, like jiu-jitsu is an individual sport. You're out there by yourself. You're out there competing, but you need that community. You need.
Oh
that
yeah,
team.
I wouldn't have
Like,
made it.
there's
I wouldn't have
no
made it
way.
through the day without you guys there. You were so motivating to me, Sergio. You know,
Yeah.
Taylor, Joey. I mean, all you guys were so supportive. It was it was amazing.
Remember when we were fanning? We have a great photo. of
Yes, we got to do
Yeah.
it.
After my last match, I went off the side, just like laid on the floor, and then they all came over and started like fanning me with their hoodies
And he
and
just
shirts.
starts removing all of his clothes, and he says, "I'm on fire! I'm on fire! Ricky Bobby, I'm on fire! Jesus, Buddha, put me out! Put the fire out! Oprah Winfrey,
use your magic, put the fire out."
I think the energy level has a huge part to deal with it too, because like there's nothing better than coming off the mat after like you'd say like a good win or a big win, and your team is more excited than you are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I
You're getting
feel
high
it. I felt
fives
it
and-
from like Giuseppe. I
Yeah.
felt it from you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I've always felt Kyle's really good at that because he's like screams
I
whenever
get
win.
fucking jacked
I
up.
love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, I really appreciate it because I don't have that in me. I'm really a very quiet person.
That is still the greatest clip is when you beat Junie. And the whole
just,
whole
like,
room
nodded,
goes
I just
silent,
looked at
and then
you.
you could just hear me go, "Fuck yeah!" in the back. You're just screaming as loud as I can, like in his girlfriend's face. What the fuck's up? Yeah,
That's it.
yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I was jacked up.
Yeah, I love it. But you know, it's like that is it's all, you know, it feeds itself. You
Yeah.
know, it's like
Yeah.
the energy of it. And you know, I want us to we're barely scratching it. Imagine if we had 30, 40, 50
Yeah.
people. Like everywhere, you know, obviously we're not going to bring 50 people to Florida.
Yeah.
But like, you know, the idea of us having, which we have like 30.
A travel team.
You know,
almost
but
in a
like,
sense,
if
right?
I mean, people want to do it, we'll set the dates. And we're
Think of
gonna-
all the people we
we'll
brought
just
to
roll
Chicago.
up. Oh, dude, imagine.
Yeah.
How cool would that
Oh
be?
my god! To bring Kenny with us.
Oh, Kenny
Oh,
was
we
supposed
got-
to come. Kenny was supposed
Yeah.
to come. He's disappointed he didn't.
Yeah, we need-
Kenny's corner. We'll put it in there.
We'll put it in there.
Now it's see like a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a little.
Here's our first installment of Kenny's Corner.
Kenny's corner.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kenny V here. This is going to be a new installment to the show every week. It's called Kenny's Corner. So for this week, we're going to talk about something new to me, something that I think every man should try one time in their life. And it's not jujitsu. It's growing a mustache. Just fuck it. Try it. Look at me. That's a face only a mother could love. But I'm still living and doing the best I can every day. So go out this week, guys, shave the rest of the stubble, and let that stash show everyone who you are. Signing out. Goodbye.
We hope you enjoyed that. The first ever episode of Kenny's Corner.
Great man. Great
Oh,
man,
you're
that
the
Kenny.
best, Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad you guys came. Glad you had a good time. I think we should finish this podcast up with a little bit of since Sergio, you're going to be pretty busy. Sergio has a real life besides this.
He's an
Yeah.
He's actually has
officer of the law.
That's a real job.
Poopy Pants, we call it. Officer Poopy Pants.
We used to call those pigs back in the day.
Officer Poopy Pants. Tell us about your job at the at the local
precinct.
Yeah, the precinct.
Like,
Sorry, the poopy pants is an inside joke.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell us about being a cop. So, did you start in Chicago?
I
Give us
started
your whole
in
run.
Chicago. I graduated college. I was actually enrolled at Elmhurst University to go for, I want to say marketing. I changed my major. I did criminal justice for my associates, and I changed it to criminal justice to marketing for my bachelor's. So I was like, I need something to fall back on in case law enforcement doesn't work out. And I want to say Chicago called me like a week before I was supposed to start at Elmhurst, and I was like, yeah, I'll go to the academy instead. So I ended up going through CPD's academy in 2018.
So you're still young.
Yeah, I was freshly 20. I was freshly 22 when I hit the academy.
That's young.
Wow.
I was 21. I just
Yeah.
turned 22 the month before, like a few days before I started the academy. I think I started the academy November 18th of 2011.
Which is kind of good though, because you started young. You know, you can probably retire earlier.
No, you would
Still an
think
age
that,
thing?
but I'm still tier 2, so I have to work until I'm 55.
No matter what.
Yeah.
So it's not about years on.
It is. I can retire with I think like 25 years and something if I wanted to, but for me to get like a full pension and not get taxed or something like that,
Wow.
I'd have to work. Till
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they can
I
get.
thought I was saying something good.
No, but it worked out though because I left Chicago in 2021. I started with my new department where I lateraled, and I was 25 and I lateraled there, so now I can do 30 years there and fully retire. So I'll be fully retired with 30 years on and at 55 years
Hey,
old.
still young enough to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
You'll be
that's
Jay's
10 years
age.
older than most people, you know?
Sorry, Jay.
No
And
apologies.
it was the best thing too. Chicago was getting a little tiring and very chaotic.
Yeah. Well, you know, and with jiu-jitsu being the focus here, but with the podcast and with the tournament and everything we're talking about, with your job, how important do you think your training in particular, not just training in general, but for you, how important is jiu-jitsu for what you do as a law enforcement officer?
It's super important. Again, like I am a smaller stature guy, so if we go on a call where someone's like unruly, like who are they going to single out? The big dude who's 6 foot 5 and 200 plus pounds. Yeah, it's the little guy that they know they can try and beat up, right? So for me, it's like I know I have to be prepared for situations like that. I just have to be prepared in general because when I was in Chicago, you have plenty of cars out in the road usually that can come back you up in a matter of 30 seconds. You're even quicker than that sometimes.
Really?
Like. Whereas out here, like where I'm at now, like we don't have that many cars up. It's a smaller town. There's not as much going on.
I wouldn't have thought of that.
Well, I remember Adam, the other cop, telling me, I know but the town we used to train in, right? Like it's a big area, and he was telling me like how many officers they have on shift during the day, and I was just like, whoa, that's not safe.
I mean, again, like you are prepared for the worst, hoping for the best, prepared for the worst, right?
Yep,
my biggest thing is like if I'm out where no one can reach me for a while, at the very least I have to survive, right? I can't just go out there and like just get demolished, get my gun taken, squad car taken, whatever it is. So it's like I have to be prepared in some form or fashion to be able to fight just about anyone. I don't get to pick and choose the size of the people I pull over.
Yeah,
who
it's
wants
not
to
like
fight
a tournament.
Me. No, yeah, I don't get to pick and choose like, oh, this guy, yeah, he's not going to fight me today. It's fine. If I pull that one car over and he wants to fight me, like the fight's going to be on.
Yeah.
It's going to be. I have no choice.
Well, and who knows, like the day, I mean, I know that this is a little ridiculous example, but who knows the day that like me or Joey does meth, and then you got to like pull us over, like this,
Try to arrest me. I'm especially when I'm on meth.
Yeah, good luck.
Joey's on that.
But also too, isn't there there's a like Sergio's saying about just surviving, there's a level of competency that you could get to that I'm not gonna say every time, but you might be able to survive with us with 10, 15 minutes a time, and that's
all it is.
Yeah.
And like you change the rules, like in jiu-jitsu as a tournament or as a competition, the rules are a specific way, but the rules change when it comes to like a real street situation.
Yes.
Which favors jiu-jitsu in a lot of ways if you think of it the right way, where the goal is not to beat this person. No. The goal is to survive this person and for an amount of time that's appropriate where we can handle the situation.
And the biggest thing is control it. Again, like I would much rather control a person. Again, just because I'm legally justified to do something doesn't mean I want to do it, right? I'd rather control them and get myself home safely.
And try to tase.
Lawful but awful.
Yeah.
You're allowed to punch an old lady if she hits you, but you should probably just cuff her.
For sure. And that's my goal now. Like,
Right?
I have like a new position at work where I'm helping start
How many
train.
old people have you punched, Kyle?
Not enough.
So there was this one guy this weekend, right?
We're in Florida. At the Publix.
Yeah, you're the one who attacks old people.
I mean, if they get in my face, they step up to me, I will drop.
She's got to go down.
Just kidding.
That was the slowest fall I've ever seen in my life.
So this is a true story. Should we hit that story?
Yeah, we got to tell this one. This is a great one.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
It was our first time in Florida for one of the retreats.
It was not the first time we were in Florida, but last time we were in Florida. No, it's like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It was a while ago, but we're at the same stupid
We're in a
store.
Publix, yeah.
Publix, which the corners are tight in this place. For the average age being 80, you'd think they'd give a little more space for people to walk. I legitimately am just walking. This lady hits a corner as hard as she can, doesn't even touch me, steps on my shoe, and just falls for about 30 seconds.
It took her 30 seconds to hit the ground, and we're all just like
falling, turning, falling, turning.
And it was like a thing, like she was falling slow and ridiculously. Like one of us could have grabbed her easily, but it was so ridiculous. You're kind of like shocked at what was happening.
We're all like just watching her go down. Like I reach my hand out like slowly, like, are you going down? So she falls, and like the first thing she's like, and everyone starts looking over at us. It's like everyone's looking. And the first thing she says, like, you got big feet. That's all. And Tim's like, we gotta
go.
Tim like jumped in there. Are you okay, ma'am? Ma'am, have you hit your head, ma'am? And then he's like, we gotta go.
We gotta get out of here quick.
There's a scene.
That was great.
So yeah, that was the worst. But my point is, old people are dangerous.
Well, but also too, I mean, that was something I said to some of the officers too, is about learning jiu-jitsu. It was like what I just said about, like, you know, most people think learn jiu-jitsu so you could defend against some hulking crazy dude. Yeah. But it'll also help you when you're dealing with some like frail person who's just acting psychotic, that you could control them without having to hurt them, which is a very important thing as well, right?
Yeah, and it's great too, because like even people who are like having diabetic reactions, like they come off as like aggressive and like they're mean, but they're so low on sugar that they have no idea what they're doing. So if you take that as like they're trying to hurt you and you tase them, like that's gonna be a bad day for you.
Jiu-jitsu will give you that ability to scale your response.
Yes.
And like where I think a lot of martial arts are, you know, and they're not even martial arts, but like different training modalities. Yeah. They have no scalability.
Yeah,
and we've talked about this personally about, you know, some of the training that you've probably done in the academy or outside of it.
Yeah, just training in general. I don't feel training for law enforcement is good enough right now. Yeah. You know, I feel like if everyone were required to get a blue belt or required to do some sort of like jiu-jitsu, it would help so much. And I think that's
this is a huge topic.
Yeah,
that I think we need to do a whole episode on.
We should have a bunch of different cops on.
We have, so, you know, in our school in particular, we have, you know, a huge, you know, 50% discount for law enforcement. We have them, you know, I would like to look at the board. How many patches are up on the board? We have a lot of departments.
Get to bring mine.
Yeah, please do. We're trying to fill that board. So we have a bunch of different departments.
We got 16 patches up there, but they're also our firefighter ones.
Yeah. So, you know, and it's a big passion of mine. My best buddy, Tim, is a police officer in Hoffman Estates. So it's like, for me, it's something I really am passionate for them to train. And, you know, without a doubt, it's a necessity.
It's become a necessity now because, again, like the day you start relying on the tools in your belt is the day you're behind the 8 ball, right? Like if you sit there and you have to worry, your first go is your taser, your first go is your gun, first go is your baton, your OC. Like that's the stuff that should be used as a last ditch resort because you can't control them with your hands and your own body weight and their own body weight. You know, like it's one of those things. Again, like I don't feel as officers we get enough training, and that's what I'm hoping to change in my department is to hopefully get more training for our officers to get more hands on because. Again, I work in a nice town. Like the chances of me having to shoot my gun are a lot less likely than I have to do hands-on with someone. Which
it's a guarantee you'll have to go hands-on at some point.
Yeah. And if someone doesn't have hands-on ability, their two motives are this person going to listen to me verbally or I'm going to shoot them. Yeah. Like, whoa, that's pretty extreme.
Or just like an extra use of force, like, like a taser. Like, again, a taser is great when it works, but when it doesn't work, you just agitate that person even more now, right?
Speaking of that fire thing that you're telling me, weren't you saying something about the taser and the
actually,
OC spray?
So back in the you should tell it. Yeah, you should tell it.
So back in the day.
Did you say this weekend? Someone told me this.
I told you this weekend, but I probably heard it from Sergio.
The OC spray that officers used to carry back in the day was flammable. So if you sprayed someone and like lit a cigarette or like you
tased them after,
they might catch on fire because it's flammable. Because when you shoot a taser, it's like actual like it's
spark,
electrical current,
electrical current going through it. So it's
so
a lot.
Light someone up. Huh?
Yeah. And imagine too, you sprayed them in the face usually, and now you lit their head on fire. You know?
And they're on crack, so they're running around on fire.
But they are a criminal. Cuff them up.
We're tired. We're getting delirious. But so this is actually something I want to do a whole another episode on, which maybe we can get a few different cops on and talk about this and that like what I think we can do better for training. And this is something I know you're working on.
At the end of the day, it comes down to the officer too. Like I've told so many people in my department that you offer half off for police, and we have day classes, night classes, weekend classes, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll get out there, and
Yeah, it's tough.
They have no. I mean, they do have excuses, but with the scheduling and stuff here and the price here, there's no jiu-jitsu excuses. There are outside excuses, but there are no place excuses.
I think there's always going to be a difficulty no matter what, whenever you're trying to tell someone or trying to, motivate someone to try something new and difficult and things that, even if they know they need it, it'll always be tough. Cause like, how do you explain to them the value without them knowing it yet? Like they got to experience it, and then maybe they have a bad experience, and then they start realizing, yeah, maybe they could have.
Yeah, and I'm very lucky to have like Lisa pushes me to come to class on my days off, because there's some days I'm just exhausted. Like,
I give you credit, man. I know you sometimes work overnight, and
I work overnight every night, and then I come in here on like 4 hours of sleep. I'm like, I have to do a roll. I have to do this. And Lisa's like, there's some days I'm like, I'm just gonna take back. She's like, no, you should definitely go. Like, I'll be at work.
That's awesome.
The dogs will be fine. Like, go train. I'm like, okay. And I bring my happy butt here, and I'm like, I've never regretted coming here. Right. You know. I've regretted like driving.
And look at how much progress you've made. You know what I mean? And I think tournaments can be a part of this like whole thing. And not everyone needs to compete, obviously, to have a skill set that's valuable for your job. But what competing can kind of do for your job is give you a sense of calm in a very chaotic situation, right? In a controlled chaotic situation, and then also like measuring sticks of like progress. Yeah, I mean, like you're so much better now than you were the first day I met you rolling. Like you're a much more dangerous person in a good way. Yeah. So that just dangerous person like that who has good controls. You're an asset to a team.
That's my biggest thing too, is like being an asset versus like someone who just stands off to the side, right? There's nothing worse than like when you go into a hand-on situation and officers just standing there because they're timid.
Well, they become a liability, right?
They become a liability. That's what gets them hurt, gets the person hurt, gets other officers hurt. Again, like
now you're the asset.
Yeah, I want to know the basics, and again, competition even for me is like very much a level of where I'm at to see like, again, you said it's controlled. I can do certain moves, I can't do certain moves. Whereas in a street fight, like someone who doesn't want to hurt the police, they're going to do whatever they can. Right. Whereas I have certain rules I have to follow to make sure that I'm not using excessive force on them, right? I can't just freak out and like just start going crazy.
Almost like restraints.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You can't bite their nose off.
No.
Kyle's tried.
That'd be a good move, though. Yeah. That'd be a good move. They will not be stealing those Twinkies again, right?
Typical dog face.
Biting noses.
I keep thinking of the movie Dirty Works.
Oh, Dirty Works. I haven't seen Dirty Works.
You never seen Dirty
Works?
No.
I mean, I'm a huge Norm Macdonald fan. Yeah.
Well, Chris Farley's character. He got his nose bit off by a Saigon whore. She bit my nose off. All right, great movie.
Shout out Chris Farley.
Yeah.
We watched Black Sheep on the flight home.
Yeah, you guys watched
the only real scene I remember.
I saw you had it on your screen. I was watching.
It's so good.
The scene I always remember is when the hail comes in and she crushes him in the bed.
Shut up. I got tips on top. Crushes him. I feel like they stole that scene for Step Brothers. Essentially, you know what I mean? Like they took the bit, right? Wow.
Amazing.
All right, guys. I think this is good. What do you think, Sergio? Any last thoughts?
Well, I think this is good.
I appreciate you taking the time, being so tired. This was like our last shot. Kyle, I appreciate you toughing it out. I know you weren't feeling good.
Yeah, no, I'm here for you.
Earlier today, Kyle's like, "There's no way I'm doing a podcast." Right. He was puking.
I'm still puking at the airport. But
But Kyle's a gamer.
He is.
And this goes back to your jiu-jitsu game.
Yep.
You're like, no matter how shitty you feel,
just
keep
going.
Keep it going.
There's no quitting them. Yep.
And I'd say the podcast guys, we're committed. We love this thing.
Yeah,
we got a lot of really good shows coming up. We got a lot of fun plans. Next week, you know what's going on? Did I tell you?
No, you didn't tell me.
Anna.
Oh, Anna. Yeah, we're
so Anna's getting her brown belt.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a podcast with her right after.
We're gonna do
a
mom cast. It'll be our first mom
cast. Yeah, it should be our second female and our first mother.
Nice.
Super excited. I'm excited to talk to her about.
I'm really excited.
Anna's like our buddy. We love her.
Yeah.
We'll do that on Sunday. So her test is on Saturday, and then we're gonna do her.
Man, I thinking about it though.
What's up?
How much do you know about Anna's life?
I don't know enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I know her from this point of view, right?
Yep.
And like her kids. And,
but I don't know her growing up. And like, that's probably really interesting.
You know what I mean? That's what this podcast for me is really exciting. I just love it.
Yeah.
It's fun to like talk to Sergio, hear so much about his background.
Yep.
I think this is what I'm enjoying so much about it, is to get to know people that I think I know, but I learned so much about people just by sitting down and talking to them. But who the hell are you, Kyle?
Who am I?
Who are
We
you?
have not figured you
I
out
am an
yet.
apparition.
I'm an enigma.
I'm an enigma.
I feel like we will do a Kyle cast.
The Kyle cast?
There
Where
you
it's
go.
just me,
Yeah.
and I'm just gonna interview you, Kyle.
We should do one where I interview you and you interview me. We should go through
Yeah,
a whole.
good idea.
we'll get back into ourselves.
You just switch the seats where, like, because you usually
Yeah.
sit here, you usually sit
And
there.
I'll wear what you wear. and you
Yeah.
throw it
Yeah,
out.
you're-
Gross. All right, I think that's it, man. What do you
Awesome.
think?
Well,
Wanna
thank
sign us
everybody
out?
for joining us this week. So remember, we just got back from the tournament. We
Is
just
there
got
any
done
other
rolling.
tournaments coming up? Are we doing
So we do have, I think we were
December
thinking December 16th, Naga.
December 16th?
That's more of a local
it's not a
one.
Naga, it's a grappling
Grappling
games.
games, yes. And then you and
Jay,
me
you
are,
doing it?
Yes.
Sergio?
Of course.
you and me were
Sergio's-
also
I'm
considering.
thinking of going into 3 brackets.
I think you should.
Ooh.
I'm going to try it because I'm going to be 40. I'm turning
Oh, yeah?
40 November 20th, so I'll be 40 by the time the tournament comes. So I can do the executive. I can do the masters.
Oh, I thought you were going to be hanging up your belt.
You tired?
And maybe if I do cut down to 145, I would feel confident to go in the adult division.
Why not?
Why not? Right?
I feel like you could.
Yeah.
I think I could. If I
And there's such a small turnout for like executives and
Yeah.
masters. It might not even be anyone in executive.
Right.
Masters would probably be like 1 or 2, and
But
then the
there
adult
should be
a
adult.
lot of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be bad.
Imagine coming with 3 or 4 medals. That'd be
try
cool.
it. I'll try it
That'd
too.
be cool.
Because we want to come home with the team gold.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
that Kenny's
That's our goal.
Kenny's number
Goal.
one job. Like
Gold
his goal.
is the goal.
He said to call the banners
I like it.
and try to get as many people to come do it.
Yeah.
I like it.
It'll be fun. So that's the
Kenny's
big
got
one
me
for the
motivated
team.
for that. Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
So we'll look forward to that.
And then what about that AGF?
AGF, it's the American grappling thing.
Yep.
It's like a trials. It's
When
like
is
in
that?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. So
So we're debating it.
Yeah, we'll probably
We gotta
go out there
sign
and do
up
that.
soon. Yeah,
Yeah.
why not? Let's do it.
yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
I want to try to take December a little lighter, and
Yep.
then New Year we're gonna really start to kick everything into gear again.
Awesome. Rolling right into the new year.
Keep it rolling.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, everybody. We will see you next week with Anna. Let's keep it rolling.